Ah, come on. You promised me the final cut 2 weeks ago. Yeah, what do you mean I got bumped by an oral hygiene film? Hey, listen. We are talking about a significant cinematic breakthrough in the art of pornographic sleaze. Yeah, I mean, there's some very important people who are waiting for this stuff. Oh, never you mind who. You just have it finished for me today, or I'll find somebody else who will. Yeah, fine.
Damn, you want some coffee?
Yeah, I could use a cup of coffee.
Here it is.
Is that Mr. Roth over
Yeah,
there?
that's him.
What's he doing going through mug books?
You got mugged.
The man is blind.
You tell him.
Hello, Mr. Roth.
Oh, hello, Captain Miller. Yeah,
Sergeant Dietrich tells me you got mugged, huh?
nice, huh? I mean, I'm out walking in the park, or at least I think I was. I heard ducks. Well, anyway, this guy comes up to me. And he said, hey, is that Pia Zadora sitting over there? And I said, well, how the hell should I know? I'm blind. Wait, he says. And before I know it, he jumps me, grabs my wallet, and takes off.
Sounds like our friend.
Yeah.
Friend? Who?
Mr. Roth, I'm afraid you're about the 10th handicapped person to be assaulted in the last few weeks.
Boy, real class, huh?
Yeah.
Going around picking on blind guys?
Not to mention a lame. People with crutches and wheelchairs.
But, Captain, people like us don't have a lot of money.
I think he makes it up in volume.
Is this the report?
Yeah.
No witnesses, huh?
I was there.
I had in mind someone who might give us a physical description.
He smelled short.
Thank you. Harris.
Oh, Barney, you're supposed to be back in your office by now.
Harris.
Look, I just got off the phone from editing, and the movie should be ready sometime this afternoon. Or in the really near future.
Harris, if I'm not mistaken, this modest little skin flick, which you were commissioned to produce by the department so that we may better infiltrate the porno industry, was budgeted at slightly less than $3,000.
So?
So that was 8 weeks ago, in which time you have already spent in excess of $22,000.
Oh, but just wait till you see it. I mean, it looks like I spent 50.
Barn,
Yeah,
there's a disturbance in that Conway building over on Bleecker.
who you on with?
Dietrich, who else? Fellini's been busy.
That's my line. Starry Night Productions. Hey, great. Yeah, that's terrific. Haha, you're beautiful. Bye. I got it.
What?
That was post-production. They said I can pick up my movie anytime this afternoon.
We gonna get to see it?
Well, sure, we all are.
Hey, great. Who's breathing?
Ah, it's me.
Hi, Captain.
Mr. Ross, you don't happen to know what happened to Sergeant Harris, do you?
Yeah. He went out. Said something about digging up a projector and some hors d'oeuvres.
I see.
Captain, would you like some coffee? I just made a fresh pot.
Oh,
Pour yourself a cup.
okay.
Yeah, and then let me know how you like it, huh?
Okay.
Huh?
Wow, pretty good.
Eh?
Tastes fine.
Yeah, I always sprinkle a little salt on the coffee just before the brewing cycle. Think it neutralizes the acid or something.
I see. I didn't know we had any salt around here.
It felt like salt.
Well, Mr. Roth, considering we have your statement, I really don't see there's any reason you can't go home.
Home. I can't get in. That punk stole my keys.
Oh, I'll be glad to call you manager.
He died.
Oh,
Well, anyway, Mr. Lukather, my roommate, he's gonna pick me up. Gets off work at 6.
uh-huh. Well, then I guess just make yourself comfortable.
Thank you. Captain, any particular place?
Here, come on over here.
Oh, good. Thank you. You know, I've been up here a few times. Gee, I've known you a couple of years. And I still don't know what you look like.
I guess that's true.
Captain, can I feel your face?
All right, go ahead, sure.
Thank you. Huh. Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Nice.
Thank you.
You busy tonight? I was just kidding.
Just have a seat, Mr. Roth. Just have a seat.
Just get inside then, Mr. Fuller.
Don't you understand? I had to take their money. They weren't going to give me any.
Sounds reasonable.
What's this all about?
Well, this is Howard Fuller, and we picked him up in an accounting firm. He was going from desk to desk threatening the secretaries with this. Got them to empty their purses into a wastebasket.
It was for charity.
Sure it was.
It was.
Huh?
Mr. Fuller's a professional fundraiser.
The Giving Hand, a non-profit charitable organization.
First, he threatened the treasurer when his firm wouldn't give him a corporate donation. Then he started shaking down the secretaries.
These people, they don't understand. I've got quotas to meet. But everywhere I go, I get the same excuses. Maybe next year. Business is down. Interest rates are up. We gave at the office. Wouldn't think they're kidding. I'm in the office.
Sorry about that, Mr.
Sorry
Fuller.
doesn't cut it if you need a transplant, pal.
All right, pal. Transplant it over there.
Extra, extra. Read all about it. Inspector Frank D. Luger, Ace Media Liaison Officer of the NYPD, has arrived at the 12th precinct.
That was in this morning's paper.
Day. You're a caution.
How are you, Inspector?
Fine, just fine. Well, Joe.
Yes, Inspector.
Mr. Shearing?
Haven't seen you in a while, Inspector.
Well, you know how it is, Barney. Settling down into a new job down at headquarters, trying to get the lay of the land, responsibility of juggling them big decisions you have to make. At the same time, trying to keep tabs on the pulse speed of the entire department. Barney, there are just not enough hours in the day.
Sounds challenging.
I hate it. Huh? Still got that couch in your office, Barney? So, the way I figure it, Barney, the department is kind of rewarding me. You know, showing their gratitude for all the loyalty and dedication I put in for all these many years. So they dish up this nice, prestigious job for me, a piece of cake down at the headquarters.
And?
It stinks.
What's the problem?
Well, it's just been hell for me, Barney. I don't even feel like I'm a cop anymore. Huh? Me chained behind a lousy desk, cooped up in a crummy little office like this, day in and day out? Taking all the guff from them snotty reporters and them TV news persons, Barney? Getting no respect from my underlings because I'm like the new kid on the block. Understand? All right, maybe I always don't do everything exactly right. Maybe I don't know how to run a Xerox machine, so go ahead, put a bullet in my brain.
Sorry it didn't work out the way you expected, but... Well, Inspector, maybe you should just face the facts. Maybe you're just not cut out for this kind of job.
Then why did you recommend me, Barney?
Showtime.
Huh?
The movie. It's here.
Great. Barney. Is this that smutty, disgusting stag film that Harris has been working on?
Yeah.
Huh? Well, what do you say? Let's take a peek, huh? We can talk anytime.
What's going on?
Showing a movie.
Motivational film, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Crab puff?
Thank you.
Just one.
Everybody ready?
Okay. See a little skin up there. Little skin.
Come on, hold.
Well, precinct, what'd you hold? Okay, we'll get someone there. Robbery in progress over at Madison, in front of the House of Canes.
That's where I got mine.
Right, Wojo and Levitt.
Thanks a lot, Barn.
I brought up the projector.
Come on.
Okay. Let's try it again.
Yeah. Try it out.
So, have you been in the city long?
No. As a matter of fact, I had just stepped off the train when you stepped into my life.
I simply smiled.
But the warmth of that smile, juxtaposed against the cold indifference of the driven crowd, drew me toward you. An inexplicable cacophony of primordial passion erupted in my head, saying, "Go, you must go to him."
I'm glad. So, more wine? I'm having some.
Please.
Some cheese?
Gouda?
Of course it's Gouda. I just bought it.
Anybody want something from the snack bar?
Well, here we are.
The bedroom, of course. Predictable.
Oh, does that bother you?
I am neither hot nor bothered. I'm frightened.
Aren't they doing anything yet?
Nah, they just stand around chewing the fat.
I don't want
Nah, that's later.
Can I help you? I'm Captain Miller.
Carl Burney, President, giving hand.
Excuse me?
Giving hand.
Oh, right.
I don't mean to interrupt your morale session, Captain, but I understand you're holding our Mr. Fuller.
Can this wait a moment?
No problem, Captain. I'll watch the movie.
Down in front.
I am sorry.
The disco is quite crowded tonight.
Thank God we were attractive enough to get in.
You've changed.
You find me lovely,
You were born to wear designer jeans.
and you were born to make designs on them.
Who wrote this?
I did.
Why?
Harris, where's the sex?
There's been a little. Who's horses?
It's
been an hour. They're still dancing. Where's the sex?
There's a relationship forming here. These people aren't cheap.
Harris, I want to see some hardcore. I want to see it now.
Down, Barney. It's coming.
Shut up, huh?
What is this? Shut up, will you? Wait. I hate coming in the middle of a movie.
So do I. Barn?
Just find someplace to sit. Aren't you gonna start it again for me and Levitt?
Sit down.
Park it over there.
That's where I was gonna sit.
Stroke of genius, inviting the entire disco over.
They're yours to enjoy. An amber field of beautiful people, a mountain range of flesh, a river of good grooming.
Cocktail, madame?
Thank you, Black Stallion.
Harris! Hitchcock does it.
You put a spell on
I want you to touch my everything.
her. Shall we join the others in the bedroom?
Oh, my God.
Satisfied?
They are.
What's happening? I don't hear any breathing.
Wouldn't want to.
Lance
I am here.
and the others.
No, there's only us.
I want you, Lance. All for myself.
As do I, you.
Take me. It's
Our destiny.
Are we supposed to stand up?
Just eat that cereal.
Well?
Pretty good, Harry.
What I saw of it.
Same here.
Thank you. Arthur?
I give it 3 smiles.
Right. You got stuff in there that would gag a maggot.
Thank you, Inspector. Barney?
We'll talk later. Let's get the place cleaned up, huh? Mr. Barney, would you excuse me for a minute?
Of course.
Ojo, is this our man?
Yeah, it's Arthur Duncan. He tried to jump a guy with a club foot.
Only one.
Anyway, Barn, a bunch of construction workers saw the whole thing, so they grabbed him, and they held him till we got here.
Never had a chance.
How unfortunate.
Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
It sounds like the guy who robbed me.
You certain of that, Mr. Ross?
Just make him say Pia Zadora.
I don't have to say nothing.
That's him.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ross.
Okay, Mr. Rock, come on back, have a seat.
All right. Over here, Duncan. We're gonna book you. Sit down.
Hey, I know what you're thinking. A guy who picks on gimps. A real lowlife, right? Scum of the earth. Something that crawled out of the soup.
Close.
Well, I'm not exactly in love with myself either. But try to mug Joe Average these days. I mean, everybody's into kung fu or packing a gun. Broads strutting around with their little cans, spraying mace on anything that moves. It's a jungle out there.
You're safe in here. Sit down.
Thinking of changing my line of work.
To what, grave robbing?
That's funny. Of course, nobody gets hurt.
So you hated it?
No. Wasn't quite what I expected. But I can see what you tried to do.
Tried? Barney, I have personally lifted pornography out of a pool of drool and made it into an art.
And we appreciate it. However, it was a bit verbose. The choice of music was questionable. Wouldn't hurt to lose about a half an hour in the editing room. You could probably...
You know, everybody's a producer.
Barney?
Yeah.
Still early. I think I'll be paddling along back down to headquarters.
Okay, fine, Inspector.
Yeah, now they probably want to try and squeeze in another hour or two of verbal abuse and degradation on the old inspector before kicking him out for the night.
Inspector, I really think you're approaching this with the wrong attitude. You're not giving yourself or them a fair shake.
I knew you'd say something like that, Barney. Nice try.
The point is, we simply can't have our people running about willy-nilly, threatening potential donors with sharp instruments. I mean, you can scarcely expect someone to give from the heart if there's a knife in it. Captain,
sorry, Mr. Barney, I
just want to emphasize that Mr. Fuller's unfortunate methods were entirely of his own choosing, and are in no way representative of or sanctioned by the giving hand.
Of course.
We simply explain the function and goals of our noble organization, and then allow the individual to be guided by his own conscience, gently reminding him first, however, that our true acquisitions lie only in our charities. We gain only as we give.
Lovely sentiment. Unfortunately, we still have a problem. Mr. Fuller.
I don't. He's fired.
You're not even gonna bail me out?
No. Goodbye, Captain.
Hey, mister. You're with a charity, right?
Yes.
I'm blind.
So, get a dog.
12th Precinct, Sergeant Dietrich. Yeah, hold on a second. Captain.
Yeah.
Deputy Commissioner's office.
Oh. Captain Miller here. Yes, as a matter of fact, we just previewed it. I think you're going to be quite pleased. What? I understand it's your prerogative, but Sergeant Harris has gone to considerable... Yes, I'll tell him. Okay. Right.
Tell me what?
There's been a slight change in plans with regard to the movie.
Oh, what, they want to show it to the big brass first?
Not exactly, no. It seems the commissioner's office has had second thoughts. Well, the possibility of entrapment, bad publicity for the department. They decided to scrap the whole project.
You're joking.
I'm afraid not.
What do they want to do with the movie?
They want to destroy it.
They can't have it. It's mine.
What?
I mean, it's a part of me now. I mean, this is the product of my sweat, my inspiration.
Harris, it's a dirty movie.
It's my firstborn.
Look, Harris, I can appreciate how you might feel about this, but I mean, the department has made a decision. It's up to us to abide by it.
No.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'll have Wojo run it over. That way, if it's, out of your hands, maybe it won't be so painful.
Thanks. Make me kill his kid.
It's okay, Barney. I'll run it down myself.
Okay, fine.
I've brought it along this far. I can see it through to the end. I'll be back.
Hey, Ryan. Make me a print, too.
So, how do the eggs look today? All right. Why don't you let me have 3,000 dozen? Yeah. And also half a ton of bacon, 1,600 pounds of potatoes.
1 toasted English.
And 1,500 gallons of Florida orange juice. Yeah, bye.
You ordering breakfast from Manhattan?
No, it's commodities, Barney.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got tired of doing just stocks and bonds. You know, there's a lot more action in the commodities market.
It's a lot riskier, too, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you got to know the right ones to buy.
I thought the hot commodities were the grains. Oats, alfalfa, buckwheat.
You forgot Farina and Spanky.
Very clever. Hey, listen, maybe you can use it here. It's from the PAL. They're staging their annual benefit variety show, and they're looking for cops with some performing background.
I do a pretty good Goethe impression. Take my soul, please.
Barney, back in college, didn't you, used to do a little singing?
Me?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh.
What do you say?
Well, not me.
Look up. What about Wojo?
Forget it.
All right, maybe next year.
Barney, why didn't you just tell the truth? They're both gonna come out. What are you, nuts so
All right, take it easy. What do we got?
This one is Philip Pollock. Picked him up in Washington Square Park and is charged with assault and battery.
He just jumped me for no reason. He knows why.
According to a hot dog vendor who saw it happen, Kelso here was walking along the sidewalk by himself when Pollock came up behind him and grabbed him around the neck.
I asked him, please, just take my wallet. He wouldn't.
When I got there, Pollock had him on the ground in a hammerlock.
I had to stop him.
From what?
There was a lady in front of him. He was about to steal her purse.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
Was he, reaching for the purse?
No.
Well, was he approaching the lady? Was he, making some kind of hostile gesture?
Not yet, but he was thinking of it. How do you know? What are you, psychic? Yes, I am. I have the gift of precognition.
I see.
So do I. Nothing to brag about. I was just born with it.
And, the woman?
Well, supposedly she kept on walking.
She was late for a dental appointment.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Kelso, have a seat over here. Sergeant Harris will take a statement.
Time we got a disturbance on 6th Avenue.
You 11. All right, Mr. Pollock, I'm afraid Sergeant Mojoho...
I know, he's going to book me.
Which desk?
There can't be two of you.
Okay.
October 15th, 1946. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I can't help it.
Sure.
I know that it's hard for somebody who doesn't have the gift to understand it.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. It's like the commercial, you know, with the guy and the girl in the elevator. And the girl is thinking, cute guy. Wonder why he keeps scratching his head. Maybe he's got dandruff. Well, I hear that.
Let's get finished with the report, all right?
All right. You can go first if you like. 034321878.
I'm telling you, this is destroying our civilization.
All right, move it inside.
Move what?
Just get in there. And this is Ronald Hanna. Disorderly conduct and destruction of private property. He was riding on a bus and ripped down that ad.
Aunt Sally's kosher-style pickles.
2 years I've been staring at that travesty of the English language. Read it.
Aunt Sally says my pickles are the tongue-teasingest, the lip-smackingest, and the crunchiest.
I want her arrested.
Mr. Hanna's a professor of linguistics and English at NYU.
The English language is one of the most beautiful and expressive of all tongues, but it's being corrupted and debased by its chronic misuse. Manufactured lingo like that. Dull-witted cliches, redundancies, mindless phraseology. Save up to 50% and more. What does that mean?
I really don't know, Mr. Hanna, but...
Captain, it's not just a matter of a stupid pickle slogan. The manipulation of language is one of the primary methods used by those in power to confuse and divert the public. A false statement isn't a lie. It's simply no longer operative. War becomes pacification, and bombing, the vertical deployment of anti-personnel devices.
Well, you got some valid points there, Professor, but I'm afraid we're going to have to book you anyway.
Well, I have a seminar at 3 o'clock.
Hopefully you'll be out of here by then.
Hopefully.
I can't guarantee
Hopefully means with hope, Captain, not I hope. Did you mean that I will be out of here with hope? No, you meant that you hope that I will be out of here.
Right, I hope so.
I'm sorry if I was a bit sharp, but a tiny mistake like that, well, it makes me a little crazy.
Irregardless. Want to have a seat over there?
Captain, should I put a warrant out for Aunt Sally?
Huh?
Did you ever taste her pickles? If you need me, I'll be downstairs, sitting quietly.
This day has been a nightmare. First, I was walking down 6th Avenue this morning. A sign in a bank window was offering free gifts. What other kind of gifts are there?
Address?
514 East 25th Street. Then, when I went to lunch, you know what the specials were? Steak o' bob and filet o' fish.
Look, I agree with you that language has deteriorated sharply in recent years. But let's get through with this.
Certainly.
Next of kin?
What do you mean eggs have dropped 11 cents? I thought they were the perfect food. Nah, don't sell me out. Listen, if you need more cash to cover the margin, just give me a call back, okay? Yeah.
I never eat eggs.
You know, it's people like you who are wreaking havoc with this economy.
Hey, Bart.
Yeah.
I checked Pollock here for priors. He's clean. But at the same time, I checked Kelso. 13 previous arrests, 9 of them for purse snatching.
Is that relevant? Hey, I'm telling you, he attacked me. For no reason.
Well, if he did, he sure picked the right guy.
Who is the victim here, him or me?
I'm not so sure. You signed that complaint yet?
Oh, I haven't decided yet. When I do, you'll be the first to know. Probably.
I'm gonna go out to lunch today.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Excuse me?
I feel that something's going to stop you. I sense a gloomy, overbearing presence nearby.
Pollock,
Afternoon, man.
Look, what a pleasant surprise.
Of course it is, sir. Barney.
Inspector.
Oh, Joe.
How you doing, Inspector?
God bless Poland.
Thank you, Inspector.
What brings you down, Inspector?
Oh, I got a few things here I'd like to go over with you, Barn, in my capacity as media liaison officer.
Gee, I'm really sorry, Inspector, but I was just heading out for lunch.
Oh, okay, good deal. No reason why we can't go through this stuff over some chow, huh? What do you say we ankle up to the oyster bar and crash that?
Maybe it would be better to do it in my office.
Okay, whatever you say, Juan. Only you already had me slurping them oysters.
Bart, robbery in progress. So a liquor store in Bleecker.
All right, you and Harris. Here.
No! Don't go!
We got to.
No, not you. Him. Don't go out.
Why not, Mr. Pollock?
I don't know. But something terrible is going to happen.
You know this man is seriously disturbed. You still want to go? Yeah, sure. It's been fun.
Inspector?
Forgot all about the old inspector, huh, Bob?
No, as a matter of fact,
Sitting here all alone, 20 minutes. Nothing to do but stare at an empty bottle of aftershave lotion.
As a matter of fact, I went downstairs, picked us up a couple of sandwiches.
Oh, good thinking, Juan.
They're out of the machine, but...
What do we got?
Well, there's egg salad or olive loaf.
They finally sold it, huh?
So? What were you arrested for?
Preventing a mugging. Ooh. How about you?
Defending the integrity of the English language.
Doesn't seem quite fair.
Unfortunately, it's often the very people who are trying to preserve the society who are the first to be persecuted by it.
Ain't it the truth?
It was nice talking to you.
So, every week, Bon, I gotta hand out these news releases to the gentlemen in the press, Keep them up to date on the workings of the department. As if it's any of their business. Yeah. But it ain't easy, Barney. I'm supposed to summarize all the decisions that come down from the review board. Like, forget it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, this rotten apple from the 2nd precinct, Bart. Been on the force 25 years. All this time he's taking kickbacks, shaking down the local merchants. The review board nails him with 64 separate counts of misconduct. I thought I'd just sum it all up by saying, police officer retires. Pretty much says it all, huh, Bob?
Pretty much.
Oh, and here's a doozy, Barney. This is about the departmental allocation about who's going to get the bulletproof vest,
Inspector.
It almost sounds like the department's playing favorites or something,
Inspector, didn't you say something about wanting to discuss something with me?
Right.
Concerning me?
Oh, no, not concerning you, Barn. You never give me any problems. It's just that I thought maybe you wouldn't mind giving me a little hand with this stuff, you know, try to make it sound good.
Inspector, really, that kind of writing should really be done by one person. Styles, you know.
Yeah. Right, Barney. I'll be back when you're finished. I'm just kidding, Barney. Come on, I'll help you. Lefty.
Can I help you?
I'm Roger Joyce, marketing director of Aunt Sally's Kosher Style Pickles.
Oh, we were expecting Aunt Sally.
She doesn't get out a lot.
Juan, I need another word here for extortion. You know, something that don't sound so negative.
Yes.
Excuse the interruption. Mr. Joyce of Aunt Sally's here. You want to...
Yes. Inspector, excuse me, I've got...
Oh, sure. Okay, Barney, go ahead. I'll be right here.
Mr. Joyce, I'm Captain Miller.
I was in Aunt Sally's kitchen when I heard about this, and I'm still thoroughly confused as to why anyone would take such a violent action against our product.
You can't say things like that!
Apparently, Mr. Hanna took exception to some of your advertising copy.
But it's all true. Our pickles are the tongue-teasingest, lip-smackingest, crunchiest. We couldn't say it if it wasn't so.
I don't think that's what Mr. Hanna had in mind.
Independently conducted tests and surveys have proven conclusively that when it comes to flavor, texture, and crunchability, no other pickle comes close to Aunt Sally's.
Take it Aunt Sally is pressing charges?
Yes, she is.
That's right.
Before we proceed any further, I think I should tell you that, in reality, there is no Aunt Sally.
Oh?
We made her up.
Say.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's common industry practice. It adds a homey, personal touch that most people seem to fall for.
Can I have a seat over there?
There's no Sergio Valenti either.
I just talked to him yesterday.
No pacing. Sorry, I can't help it. I'm trying to work off my psychic energy.
Do it sitting down.
It's just that sometimes the thoughts and the premonitions start coming so fast, working into my head. Oh, my God.
What's the matter?
Something's coming.
Something good?
Earthquake. Roads buckling. Buildings in rubble. People running, screaming. How could this happen in Iowa? I see headlines. Numbers going up. 21, 23, 27.
Prime rate.
32, 36. Over 40 billion served.
Prime meat.
Wars. Economic collapse. People rioting for food. Oh, my God. They've canceled Lou Grant. I see Sergeant Harris. In trouble. He's in danger. He's going down. He's falling. Plummeting. Telephone. The images are scrambling. I can't tell what it is. Something's coming. For God's sake, somebody help him.
Mr. Pollock, just...
I sense resentment in the room. Frustration. Olive loaf. Luger? Do your own damn work!
Now cut that out, Mr. Pollock! Just sit down before you embarrass yourself further.
I'm sorry.
Look who's back.
You're all right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that sounds reasonable.
What do you got?
Well, this is John Giddens. Tried to hold up at Dodge Liquors. When we got there, he was still waiting for the clerk to open the safe.
You know, I'm standing there, with this tiny little gun. It's no bigger than Nancy's. And this guy comes charging in there with a 38 special and he yells, "Freeze it, honky, or I'll blow you to Milwaukee."
Almost rhymes.
Then I drop it and he gives me a big hug.
Where'd you book him?
Sit down over here. Come on.
Hey, Earl. What are you doing here? You snatch another purse?
Mr. Kelso, have you made your mind up yet?
Oh, yeah. Forget it.
Oh, you're not pressing charges.
I think you suffered enough, don't you?
Do you?
And you releasing me?
You're not under arrest.
Oh. Right. I'm gonna give you a break, Mr. Mind Reader. Hope you appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Kelso. Forget about the jewelry store in Lexington.
Get out of there.
You can turn Pollock loose.
I've signed the complaint.
Appreciate you coming down. Oh, Ron, your broker just called.
Called earlier, too.
Thanks.
You know, I'll bet you just got hold of a bad jar.
I never had your pickles.
But then how can you criticize? I mean, if you've never enjoyed the old-fashioned down-home goodness of Aunt Sally.
Mr. Joyce, I'm not talking about the pickles per se. I'm talking about the words you used to describe them. Tongue teasingest, lip smackingest, crunchiest. I'm surprised you don't say kosherist. Mr. Joyce, I really believe if you just say what you want to say with simplicity and purity and precision, you'll sell a lot more pickles.
Kosherist.
Please.
Kosherist. Kosherific.
What? What are you talking about? Look, I had to go on a call. Couldn't you have covered it yourself? I understand. These things do happen. Right. My eggs. I lost all my eggs.
Sorry.
My broker needed more money to cover the margin. He couldn't get a hold of me, so he dumped them. And I lost $2,100.
Told you not to go.
I told you not to go. Well, Vaughn, I think I'll be heading along back downtown.
Well, we didn't finish, Inspector, did we?
No, but that's okay, Barney. I'll polish him off by myself. Maybe on the subway.
What did we say, Inspector?
June 1st, 1984. Does that date mean anything to you, Bond?
No.
It's when they put me out to pasture. Retire.
I see.
After that, the old inspector won't be coming down anymore. Telling you the old stories, chewing off your ear half the day at a time. I'll be able to be here the whole day. Looking forward to it, Bond. Toodaloo.
How come no one told me about the variety show?
Take it Dietrich and Wojo are still out?
If God is good, why does he let people suffer?
Getting worse, huh?
Oh, my head hurts. My throat's scratchy and I'm all achy. I'm afraid to even take my temperature. Why I'm not home in bed, I'll never know.
You know as well as I, there's a manpower crunch. We got 34 cops called in sick.
I know. I was one of them.
I really appreciate you coming in anyway.
It's still raining.
I just got off the phone with emergency services. They got power outages and flooding. From what I hear, Staten Island is 2 feet underwater.
Thanks, Barney.
Captain?
Yeah.
Manpower summary.
Oh, thank you. Anything new from the weather service?
Increased thunderstorm activity forecast for tonight. Continued heavy through Tuesday with gale force winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour in some areas.
Want to turn that radio off?
Sergeant Harris seems a bit out of it, sir.
It's a little under the weather.
Sir, as I mentioned on numerous occasions before, I'm always available to fill in up here if there should be a sudden manpower vacancy due to illness or incapacitation.
So far, Sergeant Harris is holding up pretty well.
Then, think you'll make it through the night?
We're hoping.
Well, I'll be downstairs in case his condition deteriorates.
Hey, in here.
All right, what do we got?
Bart. Her name is Madeline Schaefer. She was soliciting at one of those bus shelters.
In this weather? I don't believe we've had the pleasure of your company. Are you new to this precinct?
She didn't hear that.
Huh?
She's deaf.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She didn't hear that either.
You want me to mime her rights?
So, there she was, propositioning this executive type. You were doing more than talking, if that's what you said.
She had his cards on her.
I am a deaf mute. Want a party? My name is Madeline. I think you're sexy. Here for the convention?
Here's one with prices for various services. On the back, she's got her attorney and his number.
Yeah. After we book you, you can call your lawyer. We'll call your lawyer. You want to book Miss Schaefer? I think you can handle it.
Sure. Sit there.
Miss Schaefer, you want to have a seat over there?
We heard it all before. Who wants to know?
Levitt, you know sign language?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wonderful.
My sister's deaf.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not your fault, sir. I'm sure if she were here, she'd appreciate your pity.
As long as you're here, you can help Dietrich book Miss Schaefer.
Certainly. What's the charge?
Oh, it's loitering for the purpose of prostitution.
Pretty language, isn't it?
She said she doesn't have to be doing this. She could be one of those people who hands out cards, asks for money, bothering people on movie lines. She does something for the money she gets.
It's very conscientious of you, but we're going to have to book you anyway.
Very conscientious of you. We're still going to have to book you. That's okay. Talks like that to everybody. Park it over there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm sure someone will be down right away. Barney. Yeah. Alarm just went off at a warehouse down on Pier 23. Which of them is taking it?
Wojo? You and Harris.
You want me to go out?
I have no choice in the matter.
Well, what about Levitt?
He has to stay here and interpret. Unless you happen to be conversant in sign language.
I got a couple of gestures.
Save it.
Come on, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Still feeling that bad, huh?
Yeah, my head's still pounding. Now my ears are all stuffed up.
I was sad because I had no shoes. And then I met a man who had no feet.
Oh. Is he out there again?
I need your date of birth.
March 2nd, 1947.
You've been deaf since then? Place of birth?
Newark.
Look, I'm sorry.
She's not sorry she's deaf.
I was talking about Newark. It was funny when I said it.
No, I'm not aware of any statutes against shipbuilding within city limits. No, I don't know how many feet in a cubit. If you want the zoo, you'll have to call information. Can I help you? I'm Captain Miller. Mr. Lucas, what can I do for you? Wait. Oh, I'm not deaf. Oh, you are? Oh, right, Mr. Lucas. Ah, you're Miss Schaefer's attorney, right. Makes sense. Yes, we do have an interpreter, but he's out of the room at the moment. Your client is being fingerprinted and photographed. Oh, Levitt. This is Mr. Lucas. Is Miss Schaefer's attorney. He's deaf.
Take it easy, sir. I'll fill Mr. Lucas in on the details, then I'll be needed downstairs.
You
sure you can handle things up here alone?
I think so.
Okay. 12th Precinct, Levitt. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks. Sir, it's dispatch about that call Harrison Wojo went out on. They spotted a suspect, chased him down the end of a pier. The suspect jumped into the river.
Very clever.
Wojo jumped in after him. They're still searching.
Look, it's been 30 minutes. Come on, you must have spotted something by now. Yeah, I know. It's raining, it's dark. The currents are treacherous. But look, you're more familiar with this than I am. What do you think Sergeant Wojowitz's chances are? No, I don't know if he ate before he went in. What do you... Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Any word on Wojciechowicz?
No, nothing yet. They put out a couple of boats trying to get a chopper up, but...
Sir, I realize this may not be the best time to bring this up. However,
I don't believe this. You're going to ask about plainclothes duty. A man's life is in jeopardy, and all you can think of is what it means to you in terms of a possible promotion.
Sir, what I was going to say is that there's been some flooding downstairs from the rain.
Oh.
They're mopping it up right now. They may have to call emergency services.
Oh.
Believe me, sir, I sincerely hope and pray that Sergeant Wojciechowicz is going to be found safe.
Levin, I'm sorry. It's just that with everything going on, I just...
That's all right, sir. I understand. I realize I do tend to be a bit overly zealous in my quest for advancement, and...
No, it's...
I want to apologize if I sometimes put too much pressure on you.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just that a permanent assignment up here would be the greatest reward for all my efforts. It would also make my deaf sister very proud. Do you want to say something, sir?
No.
But, you know, I think of all the abstract expressionists in the period, I think that Stuart Davis, with his bold use of color and his violent clash of form, or Jackson Pollock, he's very good.
What do you mean? It's almost an hour.
Are we just chatting?
Privileged communication, sir.
Harris! This has been the worst night of my life.
What about Wojo?
An hour and a half in the middle of the Hudson River, standing in the rain on the deck of some little tuna boat.
What about Wojo?
Oh, him. He came ashore way down near Pier 12, him and the guy we were chasing.
Oh, thank God he's okay.
I'm fine, too.
Okay, inside, Ferranti.
Story of my life.
Hey,
Good to see you, sir.
Hey, all right.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What happened?
Well, this is Ed Ferengi. This is Captain Miller. Anyway, we caught this guy coming out of a warehouse with a bunch of radios, and we chased him down to the end of the pier and thought we had him trapped, and then he jumped in the water.
I figured only a real hot dog would come in after me.
So I did. Next thing I knew, he's swimming out into the river.
I got family in Jersey.
Anyway, I just kept swimming after him, and I just about caught him. And then I got this incredible cramp in my right side.
Yeah, he starts yelling, "Help me, help me." And suddenly I see him go under the water.
So I was just about out of it. And I felt this arm around my neck. Next thing, he's pulling me back to shore. Got me up on the pier, brought me around. Then I arrested him.
We're gonna book you now, Mr. Ferengi.
You're welcome.
Over here.
Sure.
Harris, why don't you go back to the locker room, put on some dry clothes, huh?
All my dry clothes are home.
Check my locker. I got a lot of extra stuff there. You could probably fit into it. Go ahead.
I may just stay wet.
Sir? Mr. Lucas says we may have a case of entrapment here.
That's for a judge to decide.
That's fine with me. Bail is already being arranged for Miss Schaefer.
Your home address?
1314 Delancey Street. You know, I could have kept right on going and left you at the bottom of the Hudson with a few hundred accountants.
That's right, you could have. Your business address?
712 East 45th Street. I work as a volunteer on a crisis hotline. That's just Monday through Friday. Weekends, I'm a big brother.
Huh?
I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, other guys I know who are making it big in crime, they're vicious, they're ruthless. They'd shoot you just as soon as look at you. But not me. Last week, I went in to hold up a liquor store in Queens. Who's running it? Vietnamese refugees. I wound up giving them $20 to help the boat people. I mean, I don't know what my problem is.
Maybe you're just a decent human being.
Hey, I feel bad enough already.
Here we go.
Here you go.
Hey, I don't want to hear it.
How long you been a policeman?
Off and on, about 7 years.
You don't look like one.
Thank you.
I think you're a lot cuter than most cops.
Is that you or her? Look, it's probably none of my business. But I don't understand how someone who's obviously intelligent, well-read, attractive, could be doing something like this.
I like to eat.
You like to eat Chinese?
I believe she prefers Szechuan.
I know a place over on 3rd Avenue, Charlie Wu's. Got a compound chicken, will knock your socks off. Who's that?
From what I gather, it's either her pimp or her boyfriend or both.
She has to sign for her valuables.
Ah, you're leaving, Mr. Lucas. Goodbye.
I want to thank you for all your cooperation.
Well, we appreciate your patience.
I also want to add that Officer Levitt's assistance was invaluable.
Glad he could be of
I can't help wondering why an officer as capable as Officer Levitt is still in uniform and not in a position where his obvious skills and abilities could be more fully utilized. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
Woo's tomorrow at 7.
Thanks, Carl.
Should we meet there or go in the same car?
Okay, Eddie. I'm gonna have to run you over to the Tombs now.
Nobody came up with the bail, huh?
No, afraid not.
I called up half the people in my choir. I told them I needed some money. All of a sudden, I'm singing solo.
Maybe it's the weather.
I tell you, I'm true being Mr. Compassionate. From now on, to hell with everybody. I'm gonna start looking out for numero uno. Be careful, it's wet there.
Anything happening?
Wojo just left for downtown with that hood. I believe Sergeants Harris and Dietrich checked out.
Why don't you go on home yourself?
Yes, sir.
Levitt. Thank you.
Is that you, Barney?
I thought you'd gone home.
You want to know something? You can have money to burn, fame, success, personal and sexual fulfillment. But if you haven't got your health, you've got nothing.
I've heard that.
Sorry. But it's hard to be original when you've got a temperature of 102.
So you took me up on my offer.
Oh, yeah. They're all gone anyway.
Actually, you look very nice in that outfit.
You're right.
Thank you.
It's funny. All these years I've spent money on custom tailoring, latest fashions. Turns out I can look good in anything.
Forward to it. Louise beamed. Chapter 7, Meadows' Confessions in Forward Motion. The afternoon sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a warm, golden hue over the precinct. The frenetic energy of the morning had settled into a quiet, reflective peace. Mail call, an officer announced, walking through the room. Just then, the main doors opened and Officer Levitt walked in. His arm was secured in a pristine white sling, and a small bandage rested on his forehead. But he carried himself with the immense pride of a giant. "Hey, Levitt," Barney called out warmly. "I am glad you're all right." "My God!" Someone gasped at the sight of the sling. Levitt waved it off with a humble, brave smile. "No biggie, sir. Just a little scaffold lash. Only temporary. That is something, anyway." Barney approached the young hero. "Anyway, I suppose that Sergeant Harris filled you in on the details." "Yes, yes." Barney nodded, placing a fatherly hand on Levitt's uninjured shoulder. "We are very proud of you, Levitt." Levitt blushed, genuinely touched by the validation he so often sought. "Thank you, sir. Well, now, if there is nothing else, I have a report to do," Levitt announced, turning toward his desk. "No way, Carl," Dietrich interjected, stepping forward. "He has got a fractured wrist, a very decent neck sprain. The doctor said he should be off his feet for the next 2 weeks." "Okay, take him home, Dietrich," Barney ordered. "But, sir," Levitt protested softly, not wanting to leave his post. "Levitt, go home," Barney commanded with gentle authority. "Rest, relax. I will be in good shape for the ceremony. Do you not think I am going to put you up for a Medal of Valor?" Levitt's eyes widened to the size of saucers. "Hey, all right. Sir, you must be toying with me." "No, Levitt," Barney assured him. "I hardly deserve it," Levitt mumbled humbly. "Perhaps Sergeant Harris has simply over-embellished." "No, Verne Ismail. I still do not think it is necessary." "Levitt, you saved a kid's life," Barney said firmly, cementing the reality of the brave act. "Take the medal." Levitt smiled, his chest puffing out just a fraction. "Well, I insist on ramming it down my throat, sir." Barney laughed. "Dietrich, get him out of here." "Let's go, Carl," Dietrich said, wrapping an arm around the young officer. "Big mouth." As they reached the door, Dietrich handed Levitt his hat. "Oh, here." "Oh," Levitt smiled. "Oh, thank you. Happy motoring," Dietrich replied warmly as they exited into the fading afternoon. The squad room grew quiet once more. Wojo stood near his desk, gathering his files. Barney, is almost checked." "Over here," Barney directed calmly. "Harris." "Yeah." "My office." Harris sighed, assuming the worst. "Why?" "A problem with the crime statistics." Before Barney could answer, the phone on Harris's desk rang loudly. Harris picked it up. Ron, this is your agent." Harris closed his eyes. "Trapped? Oh, tell him I will call him back tonight." He listened for a moment, his face falling. He said, "If you are not at that meeting in an hour, you're going to blow the book deal." Harris hung up the phone slowly, the weight of the world resting squarely on his well-tailored shoulders. "Oh, well, that is that. Go to the meeting," Barney urged gently, recognizing the immense pressure his detective was under. "No," Harris said stubbornly. "I have got work to do." "Forget it," Barney insisted. "We will cover for you. I will cover for you." Barney walked closer, his voice dropping to a supportive murmur. "Look, will you do me a favor? Go home and write that damn book." Harris looked at Barney, the facade of the confident, successful author finally shattering into a million pieces. His voice broke. "I cannot." "What?" Barney asked, surprised by the raw vulnerability. "I cannot write any more," Harris confessed, the admission lifting a massive burden from his chest even as it broke his heart. This whole thing was a joke. Before Barney could offer comfort, Dietrich rushed into the squad room, his usual calm demeanor replaced by genuine alarm. "Captain, I think we had a real police officer in trouble," Dietrich announced loudly. "There's a construction site on Amsterdam. There's a police officer dangling from a scaffold about 10 flights up." Barney's blood ran cold. Oh my God, that is Levitt. The personal dramas of the squad room instantly dissolved into unified mission of saving one of their own. Dietrich, you and me, Barney ordered, springing into action. Barney, you call emergency services. Right. Tell them we are going to need a fire truck. Yeah, excuse me. Come on, let's go, Dietrich echoed, rushing toward the door. As they raced out, Barney's mind reeled. Was not Levitt armed with anybody? Oh, it was a simple call. All he had to do was chase a couple of kids off a bulldozer. I did not anticipate anything like this was going to happen. Harris watched them leave, his own problems momentarily forgotten. It is all right. I mean, at least we are talking. I will call the hospitals. Yeah. Chapter 5, A Symphony of Second Chances. The wait for news felt like an eternity, but when Dietrich finally returned to the squad room, he brought with him a wave of profound relief. Levitt is fine, Dietrich announced to the anxious room. He is just fine. I went over to Bellevue Hospital with him. But everything is going to be all right. Barney, who had returned shortly before, let out a massive breath. What on earth happened? Dietrich sat on the edge of a desk, adopting his customary role of the precinct storyteller. Well, according to witnesses, there were assorted 8- and 9-year-olds up on the 10th floor, taking turns jumping up and down on one of those suspended painter scaffolds, playing chicken. Did you ever do that? Barney shook his head. No. Well, Dietrich continued when it got to be the fat kid's turn. One of the cables snapped and left one Howie Drobish swaying in the breeze and clinging onto the safety rail for dear life. The detectives leaned in, completely captivated by the tale of bravery. Somehow, Levitt managed to get up there and swing out onto the scaffold. Dietrich explained. Your kid? Someone asked. No, Dietrich Glerifer. He just yanked the kid up by the seat of his pants, threw him back into the building, and then... That is when he lost his grip and fell. Fell, Barney gasped. Dietrich smiled warmly, made a perfect 3-point landing on another scaffold 1 floor below. Oh, thank God, Barney breathed, rubbing his temples. Yeah, Dietrich nodded. So, by the time we got there, the paramedics had already reeled him in, and they did not seem to think that anything was broken. Great, Barney said, a proud smile spreading across his face. Oh, Dietrich added, his eyes twinkling with amusement. When they brought him out, Levitt tipped his hat to the crowd and got himself a great big standing ovation. I got statements from everybody, so I'm going to write this up. Another officer chimed in. Thank you. You need any help? Nah, I can handle it. But thanks for the thought. As the excitement over Levitt's heroic exploits settled into a comforting murmur, the heavy wooden doors of the precinct opened once more. A woman stepped inside. She possessed a quiet elegance, her graying hair styled neatly, her eyes darting around the gritty room with a mixture of apprehension and immense curiosity. Can I help you? Wojo asked, approaching her gently. I am not sure, the woman replied softly. I think I took the wrong stairs. I am looking for the policeman who found my DeSoto. Wojo's face lit up with recognition. Are you Miss Shawcross? Yes. Yeah, I am Sergeant Wojiowicz. He introduced himself, stumbling slightly over his own long surname, as he always did when trying to be polite. Yeah, I talked to you this morning. Louise Shawcross smiled warmly, an immediate sense of gratitude washing over her. Oh, I appreciate your finding me after all these years. Sure, Wojo said, gesturing toward the holding area where Hilliard sat quietly. Did you see your car downstairs? Louise's eyes practically sparkled. Oh, well, how could I miss it? I mean, it's so big and pink. From across the room, Hilliard's head snapped up. His deep reverence for the vehicle overrode his fear of the police station. It is not pink, he called out passionately. It is coral. It was a very popular shade that year. Louise turned toward the holding cell, intrigued rather than offended. Perhaps that is why I bought it. Wojo quickly intervened. hoping to keep the peace. Yeah, why do you not have a seat here? I will finish up some paperwork, and then you can drive your car home. Oh, I hope you remember how, she chuckled lightly, taking a seat near Wojo's desk. Before Wojo could process the paperwork for the romantic reunion that was clearly brewing, another visitor stomped into the squad room. It was a man in a sharp business suit, carrying an aura of bureaucratic authority. Can I help you? Wojo asked. Herb Boskin, Department of Sanitation. The man announced briskly. I understand you have a problem with one of my officers. Oh, yeah. Wojo nodded, pointing toward the cell where Sladek was brooding. Officer Earl, he is in the cage there. I will get the captain for you. Wojo walked over to Barney's office. Captain. Hey, how is it going, Mr. Boskin? Sladek looked up from his cell, a glimmer of hope returning to his eyes. What are you doing in there? Beats me, Boskin muttered. Barney stepped out of his office. Boskin, I am Captain Miller. Boskin extended a hand, though his eyes remained cold and calculating. Captain, I am a little confused. Why is this officer in jail? This officer took a shot at somebody for throwing a candy bar on the grass. Barney explained plainly, letting the absurdity of the statement hang in the air. Boskin's jaw dropped. You did what? Sladek gripped the bars of the cell, pleading for understanding from his superior. Hey, do not you start on me now, too. Mr. Harding, what happened to all your training? These men have a standing order, and we drill it into their heads every day. The gun stays in the holster. Unless your life is on the line. Sladek argued defensively. That guy was 2 feet from a trash can. Boskin sighed deeply, pinching the bridge of his nose. Captain, is there some place that we can talk in private? You see, Captain, Officer Sladek is only recently sanitation police. Sanitation police, Barney repeated, ensuring he had the terminology correct. And I just hate to think that this one isolated incident will soil an otherwise perfect record. Boskin pleaded, attempting to smooth over the monumental error. Barney stared at him, incredulous. Are you kidding? That madman could have killed somebody. Boskin leaned in, lowering his voice into a conspiratorial whisper. Well, he is a rookie, you know how they are, fresh off the truck. In love with the uniform. Thinks he is going to clean up the city overnight. Just got a little overzealous. That is all. You were probably the same way yourself. Barney stood remarkably still. No, I was never a garbage man. Oh, remember to put that in your report. Barney instructed dryly. Thank you, Wojo replied. Do you want me to check with the district attorney's office about the statute of limitations? He only hit you 10 minutes ago. Barney nodded. Park him right there. Chapter 3. The Overzealous Sweeper. The gentle hum of the squad room was abruptly shattered by the static of the police radio. The dispatcher's voice crackled through the speaker. Patton, how was this pass? We got a police officer in trouble in Washington Square. Maybe some shots fired. The atmosphere in the room transformed instantly. The light-hearted banner vanished, replaced by the sharp, focused discipline of dedicated officers. Okay, that is everybody, Barney commanded, his voice slicing through the tension. Break out some weapons. Put him in a cage. Wojo guided Hilliard toward the holding cell. Yeah, in a cage. Hilliard protested mildly. I just sat down. In a cage, Wojo repeated firmly. Harris. Barney called out. I just finished my filing, Barney. Harris replied, reaching for his sidearm. Fine. All right, got him. Let us go. All right, pull the rods. I do not want anybody getting hurt. Barney directed as the detective scrambled toward the door. That is right. Wojo agreed. Whose car are they taking? Mine. Donuts. Yeah. Try and do something different. I know somebody can get hurt, but... Just as the detectives were about to rush out, a timid voice interrupted the chaos. Officer Carl Levitt, a uniformed patrolman whose eagerness was matched only by a small stature, stood near the doorway. Sir, you are crawling. I am afraid we are a little short-handed now. Levitt observed. Barney paused. I am available. Levitt stepped forward, eager to prove his worth. Look, if you give me a minute, maybe I can find out if there is a squad car in the neighborhood. Sir, I will take it. Levitt insisted valiantly. As a matter of fact, I do have someone. Yes, he will be right over. You are quite welcome. Barney looked at the young officer, appreciating his unyielding dedication. What is the case, sir? Levitt asked. Construction site over on Amsterdam. Barney explained quickly. Some kids climbing all over the equipment. You got to chase them off. Levitt looked slightly deflated. That is it. Afraid so, Barney said softly. Oh, would you not send a squad car for that? I was going to, Barney admitted. Levitt straightened his posture, reclaiming his dignity. Of course. Well, perhaps we can take on the little heathens together, sir. Goodbye, ladies. As Levitt marched out to handle the children, the main door swung open with tremendous force. Wojo and Harris returned, hauling a struggling man in a brown uniform. The man was breathless, furious, and radiating a chaotic energy. I get the picture, sir, Wojo grumbled. Save some for guys. Come on, Sladek, get inside here. The man in the brown uniform, Officer Ross Sladek, jerked his arm away. Hey, look, if you do not respect a man, at least respect a uniform. Barney stepped forward, completely bewildered by the sight. What on earth is going on here? You tell me, Wojo panted. Barney, this is our police officer in trouble. Barney stared at the man. What? These two guys answer to you. Yes, I am Captain Miller, Barney said patiently. The man straightened up, attempting to look dignified despite being physically dragged into the room. Officer Ross Sladek, Sanitation Police. Barney blinked. Oh. Wojo crossed his arms. I think your boys here made a little mistake. No, we did not, Sladek fired back. What happened? Barney asked, trying to piece together the chaotic puzzle. Wojo pulled out his notebook. Well, when we got to park, Officer Earl here was prodding a Mr. Anthony Peglia with his nightstick, forcing him to crawl around on the ground and pick up assorted cigarette butts and candy wrappers. Sladek interrupted, his voice filled with venomous self-righteousness. That slob threw a Snickers bar down on the grass, and I made him get down there with it. Barney looked horrified. You just asked him to pick it up? I tried that. Sladek shouted, waving his arms. I tried. I identified myself as a sanitation officer, and he laughed at me and just kept walking. That is when Mr. Sladek told him to freeze. Fired 2 warning shots in the air. Warning shots. Barney repeated, the words tasting absurd in his mouth. Well, you do not make a mess on my beat and just walk away. Sladek defended himself, utterly convinced of his own moral superiority. Anyway, Wojo continued, ignoring Sladek's outburst. Mr. Peglia signed complaint right on the spot, and then mentioned something about moving to Maine. Good riddance to bad rubbish, Sladek sneered. Barney took a deep breath, trying to inject some reality into the sanitation officer's mind. Officer Sladek, are you aware that you have opened yourself to charges of harassment, coercion, and probably reckless endangerment? Sladek stepped closer to Barney, his eyes wild with unresolved grievances. Look, you have got your laws to enforce, and I have got mine. I mean, we all want clean sidewalks, right? Unclogged drains, trash packed neatly in cans, metal cans with lids on tight, so that stinking sewer rats are not swarming all over the city, living off our filth. That is hardly a reason to shoot at somebody for littering, Barney pointed out gently, recognizing that the man was deeply troubled. Have you not been listening? Barney turned to Detective Arthur Dietrich, a man whose intellect was as sharp as his deadpan delivery. Dietrich, get a statement. Sladek suddenly looked like a terrified child. What? You are not going to book me, are you? Yes, we are all police officers. We do not do stuff like that to each other. Oh, yes, we do, Barney said firmly. Sit down. Sladek collapsed into a wooden chair, his arrogant facade crumbling to reveal years of buried resentment. You know, Sladek began, his voice shaking, I spent 7 stinking years hanging off the back of that truck. 7 years getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, in the rain, in the snow, picking up other people's garbage, people who treated me like scum. Who cares? I would go to all the parties. You know, I would listen to all the snide remarks. Like, what school did you go to, P? Or, look, it is the man from Glad. What is 4 wheels and flies? He looked up at the detectives, his eyes wet with unshed tears. Get in there. But I never let it bother me. Because I knew if I just did my job, just kept the streets and my nose clean, that one day I would be promoted to this. Then we would see who is left. Not me. Sladek leaned forward, a dark intensity returning to his gaze. So what does have 4 wheels and flies? You ask me that again, I will rip your tongue out. Wojo gently took Sladek by the arm. I'm going to sit down now. Chapter 4, Heroes and Writers. With the sanitation officers safely secured, Barney turned his attention back to the rhythm of the squad room. He walked over to Wojo's desk. Anything shaking? Barney asked softly. Yeah, Wojo replied, flipping through a file. I checked Hillier for prior arrests, and he is clean. Okay, Barney nodded. Then I checked out the car, Wojo continued. I dug up a stolen vehicle report from 1957, and then I called the owner. She is coming down. Okay, Barney smiled, pleased with the efficient police work. Anything shaking with you? Wojo looked down, a shadow crossing his usually open face. Not really. Barney sensed the underlying tension in the room. He turned toward Harris, who was resolutely ignoring everyone, pretending to be deeply engrossed in a completely blank piece of paper in his typewriter. You are not talking to me either, Wojo muttered to Harris. Ever since you started this thing with Harris, no one is talking to anyone around here. Harris bristled, looking up indignantly. Whoa, Jim, unless it is duty-related. Look, you guys do not like what is going on around here? Talk to Mr. Harris. I have done everything I can to reconcile with the man, and he just keeps putting me off. Barney stepped in to diffuse the mounting argument. Excuse me. Hey, Ron, we were just talking about you. It is okay, Harris deflected, standing up and straightening his immaculate tie. I will be out of here in a second. God, when do we get that? Felt since the day he first laid eyes on the Coral 1957 DeSoto. It was a beautiful, unexpected beginning. Chapter 6, The Courage to Speak. The day was winding down. Officer Levitt returned from the hospital, sporting a sling and a neck brace. But beaming with pride, Barney informed him that he was being put up for a Medal of Valor. True to form, Levitt tried to act humble, claiming he hardly deserved it, but his chest puffed out with undeniable joy. As the precinct slowly emptied, Harris finally found himself alone with Wojo. The silence between them was heavy, filled with the unspoken tension of the past few weeks. Look, Harris began, his voice quiet. What it really comes down to is that I have not been able to write a thing since my last book. I tried. I really have. You see, I stare at my typewriter and nothing happens. Wojo listened patiently, his usual gruff demeanor softened by empathy. What about all those phone calls from the agent? Wojo asked gently. All those meetings? I was just pretending, Harris confessed, looking down at his polished shoes. And I am sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings, by dragging my bad mood in here. You should not be sorry, Wojo said, taking a step closer. If any of us have got a problem, we got to get out in the open to solve it. I suppose, Harris sighed. Wojo took a deep breath, his hands shoved deep into his pockets. He looked at Harris, deciding to offer a piece of his own vulnerability in exchange for his friend's. Yeah, you say that you cannot write. Wojo said, his voice dropping to a vulnerable whisper. I just found out I am sterile. I am just beginning to deal with that one. Harris looked up, genuinely shocked and deeply moved by Wojo's honesty. In that quiet moment, the barrier between them shattered. "The point is," Wojo continued, offering a small, brave smile, "that we can work it out together." Harris nodded slowly, a profound sense of gratitude washing over him. The writer's block suddenly seemed trivial compared to the real, human struggles of his friends. "Okay," Harris agreed softly, a genuine smile touching his lips for the first time in days. "Just not in the same room." A laugh broke the tension, light and warm, as the setting sun cast a golden glow over the worn desks of the precinct. The detectives realized that despite the chaos, the absurdities, and the heartaches of their jobs, they were a family. And together, they could face whatever tomorrow brought the city. Somewhere in the city, a man named Joseph Hilliard was dreaming of a Coral de Soto and the lovely woman who owned it. A young officer named Levitt was polishing an imaginary medal. And two detectives stood in a quiet squad room, finding strength in their shared humanity. It was just another ordinary, extraordinary day in New York. The early morning light filtered through the smudged windows of the 12th Precinct squad room, casting long, dusty shadows across the worn wooden desks. It was a place of endless stories, a crossroads of humanity where the comical and the tragic walked hand in hand. Despite the usual chaos that hummed beneath the surface of the city, this particular morning began with a quiet, almost domestic rhythm. Sergeant Arthur Harris stood near his desk, the telephone receiver pressed tightly to his ear. He was a man of impeccable taste, his tailored suit a sharp contrast to the institutional drabness of the room. Yet, beneath his polished exterior, a profound anxiety was brewing. He lowered his voice, glancing around the room to ensure no one was eavesdropping on his delicate conversation. "Look, I know we used to have business lunches in the past, but there's a new policy now." Harris whispered into the receiver, his tone a mixture of frustration and pleading. He was speaking to Allen, his literary agent. Harris had written a successful novel titled Blood on the Badge, but the pressure to produce a second book was paralyzing him. The line crackled with Allen's insistence. "No, it is the same captain," Harris replied, his eyes darting toward the frosted glass door of Captain Barney Miller's office. "And I cannot use the phone anymore either. Goodbye, Allen." He placed the receiver down just as Captain Miller emerged from his office. Barney was a man whose weary eyes held a vast reservoir of compassion. He navigated the absurdities of his precinct with a stoic grace, acting as a father figure to his eclectic squad of detectives. "Harris," Barney said smoothly, carrying a stack of files. Harris jumped slightly, immediately adopting a defensive posture. "Barney, I was talking to my agent, and I admit it freely." Barney paused, offering a gentle, knowing smile. "Harris, it is only 2 minutes to 9. I charged it to my home phone. And these are the crime statistics you asked for." He handed over the files. "Thank you." Harris took the folders, slightly embarrassed by his own paranoia. "Sir, anything else?" "Yes," Barney replied, his tone shifting from casual to earnest. "It is now 2 days since I forced you to miss that meeting, and I think it is about time we sat down man to man." Before Harris could conjure an excuse to avoid the deeply personal conversation he knew was coming, a commotion erupted near the entrance of the squad room. Chapter 2. The Chrome Smudgers and the Sputnik Blues. Sergeant Stan Wojowicz, a burly, earnest detective known to everyone simply as Wojo, marched through the heavy wooden doors. He was gripping the arm of a well-dressed, intensely agitated older gentleman. Wojo, whose heart was as large as his shoulders, looked both exhausted and deeply perplexed by his current arrest. "Whoops, whoops. On duty?" Wojo muttered, steering the man toward a desk. "Stay inside, Mr. Hilliard." Joseph Hilliard looked around the bustling squad room with wide, erratic eyes. He tugged at his collar. "Is this where I get that shirt? You know, the one with the numbers on it." Wojo sighed heavily. "No, that is prison. It is later. I was just asking." Wojo turned toward Barney. "Captain." Barney approached, his curiosity piqued. Yeah, this is Joseph Hilliard, Wojo explained, gesturing to the nervous man. On my way in this morning, I found him chasing a bunch of Japanese tourists. Hilliard instantly became defensive, his hands gesturing wildly. I was trying to spray them with this kind of windshield de-icer. Those people were acting like they never saw a real car before. Barney raised an eyebrow. What car? My DeSoto, Hilliard declared, a profound reverence washing over his face at the mere mention of the vehicle. They were violating it, Hilliard continued, his voice trembling with righteous indignation. I went into Edwards' auto supply store for 2 seconds to buy a can of carnauba wax and a case of those little pine trees. And the next thing I know, they are hanging all over my car, sitting on the hood, posing for pictures, kicking the white walls, fondling the fins. Is that any way to treat a 57 Fireflight? Barney looked at Wojo. I am not sure. Wojo shook his head. Anyway, when I tried to calm him down, he took a swipe at me. Barney turned his attention back to Hilliard. Did you try to hit him? Well, I did not know that he was a police officer, Hilliard justified, looking Wojo up and down. He looks like a typical chrome smudger. Wojo bristled slightly. There you go. No. Wait, we're not done. You see, the car is not his. Barney's brow furrowed. Oh, yeah, Wojo said, consulting his notebook. The minute I showed him my badge, he blurts out that he stole it. Hilliard slumped his shoulders, the fiery passion draining from him, replaced by profound, lingering guilt. You would have found out anyway. Maybe, Wojo admitted. They are car thieves, huh? Oh, no, Hilliard protested softly, staring down at his neatly polished shoes. It was a crazy impulse. Look, times were tough for me. I was just out of the service. I did not have a job, no future. I was depressed about Sputnik. The DeSoto represented everything I ever wanted, everything I could not have. Barney did the mental math, his eyes widening in astonishment. Exactly when did you steal this car? October 6, 1957, Hilliard confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. That is almost 25 years ago, Barney stated, marveling at the sheer absurdity of the confession. Wojo nodded in agreement, a hint of admiration in his voice. But that car looks as good today as it did the day that I stole it. He says, yeah, it is true. He let me drive it down here at Hanno's. Great. It is beautiful. Well, you know, I spent 7 stinking years hanging off the back of that truck. 7 years getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, in the rain, in the snow, picking up other people's garbage. People who treated me like scum. Who cares? I would go to all the parties. You know, I would listen to all the snide remarks. Like, what school did you go to? Or, look, it is the man from the garbage company. What has 4 wheels and flies? A garbage truck. But I never let it bother me. Because I knew if I just did my job, just kept the streets and my nose clean, that one day I would be promoted to this. Sladek looked down at his sanitation police uniform with a fierce, tragic pride. Then we would see who was laughing, not me. So what does have 4 wheels and flies? You ask me that again, I will rip your tongue out. I am going to sit down now. The detective slowly backed away from the highly emotional sanitation officer. Chapter 4, Heroes and Scaffolds. While Sladek stewed in his righteous anger, Wojo approached Barney with an update on the DeSoto case. Anything shaking? Barney asked. Yeah, Wojo replied, consulting his notepad. I checked Hilliard for prior arrests, and he is clean. Then I checked out the car. I dug up a stolen vehicle report from 1957, and then I called the owner. She is coming down. Okay, Barney nodded. Anything shaking with you? Wojo looked uncomfortable, shifting his weight from foot to foot. Not really. You are not talking to me either. Ever since you started this thing with Harris, no one is talking to anyone around here unless it is duty related. Look, You guys do not like what is going on around here? Talk to Mr. Harris. Barney said, a hint of frustration creeping into his voice. I have done everything I can to reconcile with the man, and he just keeps putting me off. Just then, Harris walked out of the locker room, looking even more depressed than before. The literary agent had called again, threatening to cancel his lucrative book deal if he did not attend a crucial meeting in an hour. Harris, however, stubbornly refused to leave, claiming he had police work to do, though everyone knew he was simply hiding from his own writer's block. Look, will you do me a favor? His colleague pleaded. Go home and write that book. I cannot, Harris finally admitted, his voice cracking slightly. I cannot write anymore. This whole thing was a joke. Before anyone could delve into Harris's sudden vulnerability, Detective Dietrich rushed into the room, his face pale. Captain, I think we have a real police officer in trouble, Dietrich announced urgently. There's a construction site on Amsterdam. There's a police officer dangling from a scaffold about 10 flights up. Oh my God, that is Levitt. Barney realized, his heart sinking. Dietrich, you and me? Wojo, you call emergency services. Tell them we're going to need a fire truck. The precinct erupted into a coordinated frenzy. The petty arguments and personal dramas were instantly forgotten in the face of a true emergency. A brother officer was in danger. An hour later, the tension in the squad room was palpable as they waited for news. Finally, the phone rang. Barney snatched it up, his face breaking into a huge, relieved smile as he listened. Levitt is fine, Barney announced to the silent room. He is just fine. Dietrich went over to the hospital with him. But everything is going to be all right. A collective sigh of relief washed over the detectives. What in the world happened? Someone asked. Well, Barney explained, reading from his notes. According to witnesses, there were assorted 8- and 9-year-olds up on the 10th floor, taking turns jumping up and down on one of those suspended painter scaffolds, playing a game of chicken. Well, when it got to be one particular child's turn, one of the cables snapped, leaving the boys swaying in the breeze and clinging onto the safety rail for dear life. Somehow, Levitt managed to get up there and swing out onto the scaffold. Did he save the child? Wojo asked, leaning forward. He just yanked the child up by the seat of his pants, threw him back into the building, and then that is when he lost his grip and fell. Barney said, pausing for dramatic effect. Fell. Harris gasped. He made a perfect 3-point landing on another scaffold 1 floor below. Barney finished, a proud smile on his face. Oh, thank goodness, Wojo breathed. Yeah, so by the time the paramedics got there, they had already reeled him in, and they did not seem to think that anything was broken, Barney added. When they brought him out, Levitt tipped his hat to the crowd and got himself a great big standing ovation. The room cheered. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph, a reminder of the bravery that lurked beneath the everyday bureaucracy of their jobs. Chapter 5, a love story in a letting go. Amidst the celebration of Levitt's heroism, a distinguished, elegantly dressed woman walked into the squad room. She looked around with a polite, curious expression. Can I help you? Wojo asked, stepping forward. I am not sure, the woman replied with a warm smile. I think I took the wrong stairs. I am looking for the policeman who found my DeSoto. Are you Mrs. Shawcross? Wojo asked. Yes, Louise Shawcross. I am Sergeant Wojciechowicz. I talked to you this morning, Wojo said, extending his hand. Oh, I appreciate your finding me after all these years, Louise said graciously. Did you see your car downstairs? Wojo asked. Oh, well, how could I miss it? Louise laughed softly. I mean, it is so big and pink. From his seat in the corner, Joseph Hilliard suddenly stood up, his face filled with polite indignation. It is not pink. It is coral. Louise turned to look at him, her eyes widening slightly. It was a very popular shade that year. Perhaps that is why I bought it, Hilliard replied, a gentle smile touching his lips. Yeah, why don't you have a seat here? Wojo suggested to Louise. I will finish up some paperwork, and then you can drive your car home. Oh, I hope you remember how, Hilliard murmured, his eyes full of sorrow at the thought of losing his beloved vehicle. As Louise settled into a chair, another visitor arrived. It was Mr. Boskin, a supervisor from the Department of Sanitation. He had come regarding Officer Sladek. I understand you have a problem with one of my officers, Boskin said to Barney. Barney explained the situation, detailing how Sladek had fired his weapon over a littering incident. Boskin, desperate to protect the fragile reputation of his newly formed sanitation police unit, tried to downplay the event, blaming it on rookie enthusiasm. I just hate to think that the city is going to dump on us again just because Sladek got a little crazy with his gun, Boskin argued. Why do you people carry guns anyway? We are police officers, Barney stated simply. No, we are police officers. You are garbage men, Sladek interjected from his holding cell, unable to stay silent. Boskin glared at Sladek. You keep coming back to that. Realizing he could not convince Barney to drop the charges, Boskin decided to cut his losses. He turned his back on Sladek and began to walk out. Hey, wait a minute, Boskin, where you going? Sladek called out, panic rising in his voice. Nobody turns their back on me. He just walked away. It was a harsh lesson for the passionate sanitation officer, realizing that his loyalty to the department was not a two-way street. Across the room, a much softer scene was unfolding. Louise Shawcross had been speaking quietly with the district attorney on the telephone, and she now approached Joseph Hilliard. Doctor, she said, addressing Wojo, mistakenly giving him a medical title in her fluster. I have talked with Mr. Hilliard, and I think he deserves a second chance. Who are you? Someone asked, confused by the interaction. This is Louise Shawcross. She owns a DeSoto, Wojo clarified. And the statute of limitations was up 18 years ago. Wojo added, looking at his notes, I checked with the district attorney's office. What about the assault charge? Barney asked, looking at Wojo. I am dropping it, Wojo said, smiling at the gentle car thief. Hilliard was overwhelmed with relief. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Joseph. Louise said softly, handing him a slip of paper. This is my phone number. Hilliard took it, his hands trembling slightly. Thanks a lot. Now, whenever you get the urge to see the car or me, just give us a ring, Louise said, her eyes twinkling with a newfound affection. We will always be there. I am looking forward to it, Hilliard replied, his heart swelling with a happiness he had not felt. Home phone. And these are the crime statistics you asked for. Thank you. Sir, anything else? Harris asked, trying to sound completely focused on police work. Yes, Barney replied, leaning back in his wooden chair. It is now 2 days since I forced you to miss that meeting, and I think it is about time we sat down man to man. Before Barney could delve into the heart of the matter, the heavy wooden doors of the squad room swung open. The familiar commotion of a new arrest spilled into the room, temporarily halting their conversation. Sergeant Wojciechowicz, affectionately known to everyone as Wojo, was ushering in a man who looked entirely out of place in a police precinct. Chapter 2, The Coral Dream. The man Wojo guided into the room was Joseph Hilliard. He was a slightly balding, gentle-looking man who appeared as though he had just stepped out of a time machine. He was frantic, his eyes wide with a mixture of indignation and panic. On duty? Stay inside, Mr. Hilliard, Wojo commanded, his voice rumbling with its usual gruff authority. Mr. Hilliard looked around the drab surroundings, his eyes landing on a barred holding cell in the corner. Is this where I get that shirt? You know, the one with the numbers on it. No, that is prison, Wojo corrected him, guiding him toward a wooden chair. It is later. I was just asking. Wojo approached Barney's desk, looking slightly bewildered by the morning's catch. Barney, this is Joseph Hilliard. On my way in this morning. I found him chasing a group of Japanese tourists. I was trying to spray them with this kind of windshield deicer. Hilliard interrupted, jumping up from his chair. Those people were acting like they never saw a real car before. Barney raised an eyebrow. What car? My DeSoto, Hilliard said, his voice dropping to a reverent whisper. The mere mention of the vehicle seemed to calm his frantic energy. But the peace was fleeting as the memory of the morning's events rushed back. They were violating it. I went into Ed's auto supply store for 2 seconds to buy a can of Carnauba wax and a case of those little pine tree air fresheners. And the next thing I know, they are hanging all over my car, sitting on the hood, posing for pictures, kicking the white walls, fondling the fins. Is that any way to treat a 1957 Fireflight? I am not sure, Wojo admitted, scratching his head. Anyway, when I tried to calm him down, he took a swipe at me. Did you try to hit him? Barney asked, looking at Hilliard. Well, I did not know that he was a police officer. Hilliard defended himself, looking Wojo up and down. He looks like a typical chrome smudger. Barney sighed, preparing to write up a simple assault charge. There you go. No, wait, we're not done, Wojo said, leaning closer to Barney's desk. You see, the car is not his. Oh, Barney asked, his interest piqued. Yeah, Wojo continued. The minute I showed him my badge, he blurts out that he stole it. Hilliard slumped back into his chair, looking utterly defeated. You would have found out anyway. Maybe, Wojo said. They are car thieves, huh? Oh, no, Hilliard protested, his eyes wide with earnestness. It was a crazy impulse. Look, times were tough for me. I was just out of the service. I did not have a job, no future. I was depressed about Sputnik. The DeSoto represented everything I ever wanted, everything I could not have. Barney picked up his pen, tapping it thoughtfully against his notepad. Exactly when did you steal this car? October 6, 1957, Hilliard confessed, hanging his head. That is almost 25 years ago, Barney stated, a hint of astonishment in his voice. But that car looks as good today as it did the day that I stole it, Hilliard said, a spark of pride returning to his eyes. Yeah, it is true, Wojo confirmed, nodding in agreement. He let me drive it down here. It is beautiful. Well, remember to put that in your report, Barney said dryly. Thank you, Wojo replied. You want me to check with the district attorney's office about the statute of limitations? He only hit you 10 minutes ago, Barney reminded him. Park it right there. Chapter 3, The Clean Streets Crusade. The squad room had barely settled from the revelation of the stolen DeSoto when the radio crackled to life. A breathless voice filled the room, announcing a police officer in trouble in Washington Square, with possible shots fired. Instantly, the atmosphere shifted. The relaxed banter evaporated, replaced by the tense, focused energy of professionals swinging into action. Okay, that is everybody, Barney ordered, standing up. Break out some weapons. Put him in a cage. In a cage? Hilliard gasped, looking terrified. I just sat down. In a cage. Detectives scrambled, grabbing their coats and checking their equipment. Harris, still distracted by his literary woes, tried to stay behind. I just finished my filing, Barney. Fine, Barney said, not having time to argue. The officers rushed out, leaving the squad room eerily quiet. A few moments later, the phone rang. It was an urgent call regarding a construction site over on Amsterdam Avenue. Some children were climbing all over dangerous heavy equipment, and someone needed to chase them off. Officer Levitt, always eager to prove himself, volunteered for the mundane task. With the rest of the squad out responding to the officer in trouble, Levitt headed out to handle the children at the construction site. Meanwhile, the doors to the squad room burst open once again. The team that had rushed to Washington Square returned, bringing with them a bizarre scene. Two men were in the center of the commotion. One was a very angry citizen named Anthony Peglia, and the other was a man in a uniform that closely resembled a police officer's, but not quite. What in the world is going on here? Barney demanded, stepping out of his office. Barney, This is our police officer in trouble, one of the detectives said, gesturing to the man in the strange uniform. What? Barney asked, thoroughly confused. These two guys answered you, the man in the strange uniform asked, looking at Barney with a mixture of defiance and defensiveness. Yes, I am Captain Miller, Barney replied. Officer Ross Sladek, Sanitation Police, the man announced, puffing out his chest. Barney blinked. Oh, I think your boys here made a little mistake. No, we did not, the detective countered. What happened? Well, when we got to the park. Officer Sladek here was prodding a Mr. Anthony Peglia with his nightstick, forcing him to crawl around on the ground and pick up assorted cigarette butts and candy wrappers. Sladek crossed his arms. That slob threw a candy bar wrapper down on the grass, and I made him get down there with it. You just asked him to pick it up? Barney asked, trying to remain objective. I tried that. I tried, Sladek insisted, his voice rising passionately. I identified myself as a sanitation officer, and he laughed at me and just kept walking. That is when I told him to freeze, and fired 2 warning shots in the air. Warning shots, Barney repeated, astounded. Well, you do not make a mess on my beat and just walk away, Sladek stated firmly. The room fell silent as the sheer absurdity of the situation washed over everyone. A sanitation officer had fired his weapon over a dropped candy wrapper. Anyway, the detective continued, breaking the silence. Mr. Peglia signed complaint right on the spot, and then mentioned something about moving to Maine. Good riddance to bad rubbish, Sladek muttered. Barney leaned over his desk, his expression serious. Officer Sladek, are you aware that you have opened yourself to charges of harassment, coercion, and probably reckless endangerment? Look, you got your laws to enforce, and I got mine, Sladek argued, pacing the floor. I mean, we all want clean sidewalks, right? Unclogged drains, trash packed neatly in cans, metal cans with lids on tight, so that stinking sewer rats are not swarming all over the city, living off our filth. That is hardly a reason to shoot at somebody for littering, Barney pointed out patiently. Haven't you been listening? Sladek demanded. Barney sighed, realizing reasoning was futile. Dietrich, get a statement. Sladek's eyes went wide. What? You're not going to book me, are you? Yes, Barney confirmed. We are all police officers, Sladek pleaded. We do not do stuff like that to each other. Oh, yes, we do, Barney said firmly. Sit down. Sladek reluctantly took a seat, but the indignation was still boiling inside him. Hilliard looked up, startled. Of course. You are welcome to come and visit us from time to time. Really? She smiled broadly. I like bubble baths, too. As a gentle spark ignited between the unlikely pair, Boskin's negotiations with Captain Miller came to an abrupt, unsuccessful end. Okay, Mr. Boskin, Barney said firmly, concluding the conversation. Thanks for all the help. Boskin turned sharply and began walking toward the exit. Hey, Mr. Boskin, what about me? Sladek called out anxiously. Sorry, Sladek. There's nothing more I can do for you, Boskin replied without breaking his stride. What? You mean I got to go to jail? Sladek asked, panic rising in his chest. Probably, but hey, best of luck. Hey, wait a minute. Boskin, where you going? Sladek yelled, slamming his hand against the desk. Nobody turns their back on me. But Boskin just walked away, leaving Sladek to face the consequences of his misguided zeal. Meanwhile, Sergeant Wojciechowicz approached Hilliard and Miss Shawcross with a thick manila folder in his hands. Doctor, I have talked with Mr. Hilliard, and I think he deserves a second chance. Who are you? Hilliard asked, confused by the title. I am Barnes, Wojciechowicz corrected smoothly, handing the paperwork over. This is Louise Shawcross. She owns a DeSoto, and the statute of limitations was up 18 years ago. I checked with the district attorney's office for fun. What about the assault charge? Hilliard asked anxiously. Tantamount. Okay, here you go now. Wojciechowicz smiled, finalizing the release. Oh, thank you, Miss Shawcross beamed. You are welcome. Well, Jowitz nodded. Yes, thank you, Hilliard added, profound relief washing over his face. Joseph, Miss Shawcross said gently, I will get your valuables. This is my phone number. She handed him a neatly written slip of paper. Now, whenever you get the urge to see the car or me, just give us a ring. We will always be there. Hilliard accepted the paper as if it were spun gold. I am looking forward to it. Chapter 5, Medals and Confessions. The door swung open once more, and a cheer erupted from the squad room as Officer Levitt walked in. He wore a neck brace and his arm was bound in a sling, but his posture was remarkably straight, and his face shone with undeniable pride. Mail call, someone joked happily. Hey, Levitt. Captain Miller called out, emerging from his office with a broad smile. I am glad you are all right. My goodness. No biggie, sir, Levitt replied with practiced modesty. Just a little scaffold lash. Only temporary, Miller noted gratefully. That is something. Anyway, I suppose that Sergeant Harris filled you in on the details. Yes, yes. We are very proud of you, Levitt, Barney affirmed, clapping a hand gently onto the officer's uninjured shoulder. Thank you, sir. Well, now, if there is nothing else, I have a report to do, Levitt suggested, attempting to march toward his desk. No way, Dietrich intervened quickly. He has got a fractured wrist and a very decent neck sprain. The doctor said he should be off his feet for the next 2 weeks. Okay, take him home, Dietrich, Barney ordered. But, sir, Levitt protested mildly. Levitt, go home, Barney insisted kindly. Rest, relax. I will be in good shape for the ceremony. Do not you worry. I am going to put you up for a Medal of Valor. Levitt's eyes widened in genuine shock. Hey, all right. Sir, you must be toying with me. No, Levitt, Barney assured him. I hardly deserve it, Levitt demurred, flushing with humility. Perhaps Sergeant Harris has simply over-embellished. No, Verne Ismail. I still do not think it is necessary. Levitt, you saved the kid's life, Barney stated, his voice brooking no argument. Take the medal. Well, I insist on ramming it down my throat, sir, Levitt joked awkwardly, overwhelmed by the recognition he had chased for so long. Dietrich, get him out of here, Barney laughed. Let us go, big mouth. Dietrich chuckled, guiding the injured hero toward the door. As the excitement of Levitt's return faded, the precinct settled into the quiet hum of the late afternoon. The typewriter slowed, and the golden hour's sunlight filtered through the dusty windows, casting long shadows across the worn wooden floors. Harris approached Barney's desk slowly, a heavy burden seemingly lifted slightly from his shoulders, though a shadow of hesitation remained. Barney, it is almost checkout time, Harris began, his voice unusually quiet and stripped of its usual bravado. So, I think I will just run Mr. Earl down to the Tombs and go on home from there, unless you would rather stay and talk. Barney leaned back in his chair, giving Harris his full, undivided attention. Look. Harris took a deep breath, the well-tailored fabric of his suit rising and falling. What it really comes down to is that I have not been able to write a thing since Blood on the Badge. I tried. I really have. You see, I stare at my typewriter and nothing happens. Barney nodded slowly, absorbing the confession. The great writer, the sophisticated intellectual of the squad room, was completely blocked. What about all those phone calls from the agent? All those meetings? Barney asked softly. No, you never let me go, Harris admitted, awry, sad smile touching his lips. And I really appreciated it. Well, you could tell a person, Barney suggested gently. Anyway, look, Harris continued, pacing slightly. It is really my problem, and I am the one who is really going to have to deal with it. But look, I am sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings, by dragging it in here. You should not be sorry, Barney reassured him, his tone warm and supportive. If any of us has got a problem, we've got to get it out in the open to solve it, I suppose. From the adjacent desk, Well, Jillwitz looked up from his paperwork, his expression serious and surprisingly vulnerable. Yeah, I mean, you say that you cannot write. I just found out I am sterile. I am just beginning to deal with that one. The admission hung in the quiet air of the precinct, a profound testament to the deep, unspoken bond. Sladek shouted defensively. You just asked him to pick it up? Barney asked. I tried that. I tried, Sladek pleaded. I identified myself as a sanitation officer, and he laughed at me and just kept walking. That is when I told him to freeze and fired 2 warning shots in the air. The precinct went dead silent. Warning shots. Barney repeated in disbelief. Well, you do not make a mess on my beat and just walk away. Sladek justified. Anyway, the detective continued. Mr. Pegley assigned a complaint right on the spot, and then mentioned something about moving to Maine. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Barney turned his full attention to the sanitation police officer. Officer Sladek, are you aware that you have opened yourself to charges of harassment, coercion, and probably reckless endangerment? Sladek threw his hands up. Look, you have got your laws to enforce, and I have got mine. I mean, we all want clean sidewalks, right? Unclogged drains, trash packed neatly in cans, metal cans with lids on tight, so that stinking sewer rats are not swarming all over the city, living off our filth. That is hardly a reason to shoot at somebody for littering, Barney reasoned. Have you not been listening? Sladek cried out, his voice cracking with years of suppressed frustration. Dietrich, get a statement. Barney ordered quietly. Sladek stared at him, betrayed. What? You are not going to book me. Are you? Yes. We are all police officers. We do not do stuff like that to each other. Oh, yes, we do, Barney said firmly. Sit down. Sladek slumped into a chair, the fight draining out of him. He looked down at his polished black shoes. You know, I spent 7 stinking years hanging off the back of that truck, he began, his voice barely more than a whisper. 7 years getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, in the rain, in the snow, picking up other people's garbage, people who treated me like scum. Who cares? I would go to all the parties. You know, I would listen to all the snide remarks like, what school did you go to? Or, look, it is the man from the garbage dump. What is 4 wheels and flies? The detectives listened, a quiet wave of empathy washing over them despite the severity of the man's actions. But, reaching the door. But hey, best of luck. Hey, wait a minute. Boskin, where are you going? Sladek demanded, his face turning red with fury. Nobody turns their back on me. He just walked away. Barney observed quietly to Wojo, shaking his head at the complete lack of loyalty. As the sanitation drama concluded, an attorney walked into the squad room, carrying a briefcase and a serious expression. Excuse me, Doctor, I have talked with Mr. Hilliard, and I think he deserves a second chance. The attorney announced. Who are you? Wojo asked, stepping forward. Barney. This is Louise Shawcross, Wojo said, pivoting to introduce the woman. She owns a DeSoto. Oh. Barney smiled warmly at her. And the statute of limitations was up 18 years ago. Wojo reported to his captain. I checked with the district attorney's office for fun. What about the physical assault charge? Barney asked. Tantamount to nothing, the attorney stated. Okay, here you get out now. Wojo unlocked the cell door, and Hilliard stepped out, looking like a man who had just been given a new lease on life. Oh, thank you, Hilliard breathed. You are welcome, Wojo said, smiling despite himself. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Joseph, Louise said gently, stepping toward him. I will get your personal valuables. This is my home telephone number. She handed him a neatly written card. Thanks a lot, Hilliard said, taking the card as if it were made of solid gold. Now, whenever you get the urge to see the car or me, just give us a ring, Louise promised, her eyes sparkling with genuine affection. We will always be there. I am looking forward to it, Hilliard replied, a blush creeping up his cheeks. Just then, The front doors opened, and Officer Levitt walked in. He was wearing a foam neck brace, and his right arm was in a pristine white sling. But the smile on his face was radiant. "Mail call," another officer joked lightly as he entered. "Hey, Levitt," Barney called out, genuine warmth flooding his voice. "I am glad you are all right. My God." "No biggie, sir," Levitt replied humbly, though he was clearly beaming with pride. "Just a little scaffold rash. Only temporary." "That is something. Anyway," Barney said. "Anyway, I suppose that Sergeant Harris filled you in on the heroic details." Yes. "We are very proud of you, Levitt," Barney affirmed, placing a paternal hand on the young man's uninjured shoulder. "Thank you, sir," Levitt said, standing a little taller. "Well, now, if there is nothing else, I have an official police report to do." "No way," Dietrich interjected, coming up behind him. "He has got a fractured wrist, a very decent neck sprain. The doctor said he should be off his feet for the next 2 weeks." "Okay, take him home, Dietrich," Barney ordered softly. "But, sir," Levitt protested weakly, secretly loving the attention. "Levitt, go home," Barney insisted firmly but kindly. "Rest, relax. I will be in good shape for the award ceremony. Do not you worry. I am going to put you up for a Medal of Valor." "Hey!" "All right." The other officers cheered softly in the background. "Sir, you must be toying with me," Levitt said, his eyes widening in disbelief. "No, Levitt. I hardly deserve it. Perhaps Sergeant Harris has simply over-embellished the story." No, Barney assured him. "I still do not think it is necessary." "Levitt, you saved a young kid's life," Barney said, his voice leaving no room for argument. "Take the medal." "Well, I insist on ramming it down my throat, sir," Levitt joked awkwardly, overwhelmed with gratitude. "Dietrich, get him out of here," Barney smiled, shaking his head. "Let us go, Carl. Big mouth. Oh, here." Someone handed Levitt a small care package as he walked toward the door. "Oh, thank you. Happy motoring." As the excitement of the rescue faded and the late morning lull settled over the squad room, Barney realized his shift was nearing its end. He walked over to his desk and began straightening his papers. Barney, it is almost check-out time," Wojo noted, stretching his arms. "So I think I will just run Mr. Earl Sladek down to the holding tombs and go on home from there, unless you would rather stay and talk." Barney looked across the room at Harris, who was sitting quietly at his desk, staring blankly at a piece of paper. The earlier confrontation hung in the air between them, unresolved and heavy. Barney walked slowly over to Harris's desk, pulling up a chair and sitting down directly across from his impeccably dressed sergeant. "Look," Harris began, his voice devoid of its usual arrogant shine. "What it really comes down to is that I have not been able to write a single thing since my last book, Blood on the Badge. I really have. You see, I stare at my typewriter, and nothing happens." "What about all those telephone calls from the literary agent?" Barney asked softly, seeking to understand. "All those important meetings?" "No, you never let me go," Harris admitted, a small, grateful smile touching his lips. "And I really appreciated it." "Well, you could tell a person," Barney said gently, feeling a wave of relief that his friend was not actually pushing him away. "Sorry," Harris murmured, looking down at his hands. "Anyway, look, it is really my personal problem, and I am the one who is really going to have to deal with it. Hey, but look, I am sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings, by dragging it in here." "You should not be sorry," Barney said, his voice rich with the deep empathy that made him such a beloved captain. "I mean, if any of us has got a problem, we have got to get it out in the open to solve it, I suppose." Harris nodded slowly. "Yeah, you say that you cannot write," another detective chimed in from across the room, misunderstanding the creative blockage for something much more physical. "I just found out I am sterile. I am just beginning to deal with that one." The squad room fell silent for a moment, the profound vulnerability of the statement hanging in the air. It was a stark reminder of the fragile humanity that existed beneath their badges and guns. Every man in that room carried his own invisible burdens, whether it was a broken dream, an empty home, or a crisis of creative confidence. Yet, in this dusty, battered room on the second floor of the 12th precinct, they found a strange, enduring brotherhood. They were a family of mismatched souls, bound together by the relentless rhythm of the city and their shared commitment to protecting it. The point is that we can work out together, Barney said, breaking the silence and looking around at his men with profound affection. Okay, Harris agreed, a genuine, relaxed smile finally breaking across his face. Just not in the same room. Laughter, warm and real, rippled through the squad room, chasing away the shadows of the morning. It was a good day. A stolen car had brought two lonely people together. A young officer had proven his extraordinary courage, and a group of hardened detectives had remembered once again that they did not have to carry the weight of the world completely alone. "Excuse me," a confused voice echoed from the hallway as a new citizen wandered into the precinct. "Has anybody seen my car?" "Me? You?" Wojo asked, turning toward the door as the endless cycle of the city began all over again. The precinct room buzzed with the familiar, rhythmic chaos of an ordinary morning in the city. Telephones rang in a chaotic symphony. Typewriters clattered like distant rain, and the scent of stale coffee hung heavy in the air. Amidst the paperwork and the worn wooden desks, Sergeant Harris stood clutching a telephone, receiver close to his face. His impeccably tailored suit a stark contrast to the peeling paint of the walls around him. "Look," Harris whispered urgently into the mouthpiece, his eyes darting toward the captain's office. "I know we used to have business lunches in the past, but there's a new policy now." He paused, listening to the frantic voice of his literary agent, Allen, on the other end of the line. "No, it is the same, Captain, and I cannot use the phone anymore either. Goodbye, Allen." He slammed the receiver down just as Captain Barney Miller stepped out of the office. Barney possessed a calm, world-weary demeanor that anchored the chaotic room. "Harris," Barney said, his voice level but carrying an unmistakable weight of authority. Harris sighed, adjusting his silk tie. "Barney, I was talking to my agent, and I admit it freely." "Harris," Barney repeated, crossing his arms. "It is only 2 minutes to 9. I charged it to my home phone," Harris countered smoothly, reaching into a neatly organized folder on his desk. "And these are the crime statistics." Returned to the precinct, a look of profound relief washing over his tired features. "Levitt is fine," Barney announced to the silent room. "He is just fine. Dietrich went over to the Bellevue Medical Center with him. But everything is going to be all right." "What the hell happened?" Wojo asked, letting out a long breath. "Well, according to witnesses," Barney began, taking off his jacket and draping it over his chair. "There were assorted 8- and 9-year-old children up on the 10th floor, taking turns jumping up and down on one of those suspended painter scaffolds, playing a game of chicken. Did you ever do that? Well, when it got to be the heavier child's turn, one of the steel cables snapped and left one Howie Drobish swaying in the breeze and clinging onto the safety rail for dear life. Somehow, Levitt managed to get up there and swing out onto the broken scaffold. "Your kid?" Wojo asked, amazed. "No." Barney chuckled, a sound of pure relief. He just yanked the kid up by the seat of his pants, threw him back safely into the building, and then that is when he lost his grip and fell. "Fell?" Wojo repeated, the color draining from his face again. "Made a perfect 3-point landing on another safety scaffold 1 floor below." Barney explained with a wide grin. "Oh, thank God," Wojo breathed. "Yeah, so by the time Dietrich and I got there, the paramedics had already reeled him in, and they did not seem to think that anything was severely broken," Barney finished, walking toward his office to retrieve his coffee mug. "Great." When they brought him out, Levitt tipped his uniform hat to the gathered crowd and got himself a great big standing ovation. "I got statements from everybody, so I'm going to write this up," Wojo offered eagerly. "Thank you," Barney said. You need any help? No, I can handle it, Wojo assured him. But thanks for the thought. As the tension in the room finally began to dissipate, a smartly dressed woman walked tentatively through the precinct doors. She looked entirely out of place amidst the wanted posters and the smell of stale coffee. Can I help you? Wojo asked, stepping forward. I am not sure, the woman replied gracefully. I think I took the wrong stairs. I am looking for the policeman who found my DeSoto. Are you Miss Shawcross? Wojo asked, recognizing the name from his files. Yes, she smiled. Yeah, I am Sergeant Wojciechowicz. Yeah, I talked to you this morning on the telephone. Oh, I appreciate your finding me after all these years, Miss Shawcross said, genuine gratitude in her voice. Sure, Wojo nodded. Did you see your car downstairs? Oh, well, how could I miss it? She laughed musically. I mean, it's so big and pink. It is not pink, a voice called out from the holding cell. Hilliard was standing at the bars, gripping them tightly. It is coral. It was a very popular shade that year. Miss Shawcross looked toward the cell, intrigued rather than frightened. Perhaps that is why I bought it, she agreed warmly. Yeah, why not you have a seat here? Wojo suggested, pointing to a chair near his desk. I will finish up some paperwork, and then you can drive your car home. Oh, I hope you remember how, Wojo joked gently. Before Wojo could sit down, another man entered the precinct. He wore a crisp business suit and carried an air of bureaucratic authority. Can I help you? Wojo asked, pausing his paperwork. Herb Boskin, Department of Sanitation. The man introduced himself briskly. I understand you have a problem with one of my officers. Oh, yeah. Wojo pointed toward the interrogation room. Officer Earl. He is in the cage there. Actually, I will get the captain for you. Wojo knocked on Barney's door and ushered Boskin inside, while Sladek watched from the other room, a glimmer of hope returning to his eyes. Hey, how is it going, Mr. Boskin? Sladek called out. What are you doing in there? Beats me. Inside the office, Boskin extended his hand. Captain, I am Mr. Boskin. I am a little confused. Why is this officer in jail? This officer took a shot at somebody for throwing a candy bar on the grass. Barney explained plainly, not mincing words. You did what? Boskin gasped, turned to look at Sladek through the glass window. Hey, do not you start on me now, too. Mr. Harding, what happened to all your professional training? These men have a standing order, and we drill it into their heads every single day. The gun stays in the holster. Unless your life is on the line, Sladek yelled back through the open door. That guy was 2 feet from a trash can. Captain, is there some place that we can talk in private? Boskin asked, suddenly sweating. You see, Captain, Officer Sladek is only recently with the sanitation police. And I just hate to think that this one isolated incident will soil an otherwise perfect record. Are you kidding? Barney asked, incredulous. That madman could have killed somebody. Well, he is a rookie. You know how they are, Boskin attempted to rationalize, waving his hand dismissively. Fresh off the garbage truck, in love with the official uniform. Thinks he is going to clean up the entire city overnight. Just got a little overzealous. That is all. You were probably the exact same way yourself. No, I was never a garbage man, Barney replied dryly. I hate that word, Boskin bristled. Look, what is it you want of me? Turn Sladek over to me for internal discipline. I cannot do that, Barney said firmly, shaking his head. Somebody signed a legal complaint against him. Look, Captain, I do not think you can fully appreciate my political situation here, Boskin pleaded, leaning closer. Our little force has had one major shakeup as it is. We have some rotten apples that were voted out for abusing their rank, and several patrolmen suspended for turning in bogus citations. I was not aware of that, Barney noted, his sympathy entirely absent. Well, anyway, yeah, Boskin stammered. We put all that behind us, you know, and we have taken steps to solve those systemic problems. And I just hate to think that the city is going to dump on us again just because Sladek got nuts with his issued gun. Why do you people carry guns anyway? We are police cops, Barney said simply. No, we are cops. You are garbage men, Barney corrected him. You keep coming back to that, Boskin sighed in defeat. You keep coming back to that. While the bureaucratic battle raged in the captain's office, a much more tender scene was unfolding near the holding cells. Miss Shawcross had wandered over to the bars, looking intently at the man who had stolen her prized possession a quarter of a century ago. "Excuse me," Hilliard said softly, recognizing the owner of the vehicle he loved so much. "Yes? I am Joseph Hilliard. We spoke earlier. I am the guy who stole your DeSoto back in 1957. I am Louise Shawcross," she replied graciously. "How do you do? I must say, Joseph, you have taken very good care of the automobile." "Sure." Hilliard smiled, a genuine expression of devotion lighting up his weary face. "I devoted half my life to it. You must love the DeSoto very much," Louise observed, her eyes softening. "Are you kidding?" Hilliard laughed softly. "We have not been apart for one single day all these years." "Sure. You know, I used to rush right home every day after work just to see that she was okay. And on the weekends, I used to pamper her. I used to wash her with warm, sudsy water. And then I would take a soft chamois cloth, and I would rub her until she was gleaming brightly in the sunshine." Louise listened, captivated by the pure poetry of his dedication. "You know," Hilliard continued, a note of deep sadness creeping into his voice, "if this did not happen, I was going to surprise her next month with a set of classic antique license plates, you know, for our 25th anniversary. And now I have ruined everything." "It is okay," Louise whispered soothingly, reaching her hand through the iron bars to gently touch his arm. "It is still your car in a way. Of course, you are welcome to come and visit us from time to time." "Really?" Hilliard asked, his eyes widening with hope. "I like bubble baths, too," Louise added with a charming, slightly mischievous smile. At that moment, the door to the captain's office opened, and Boskin marched out, looking thoroughly defeated. "Okay, Mr. Boskin," Barney said, following him out. "Thanks for all the help, Captain." "Hey!" For one of the boys, Boskin muttered sarcastically, heading straight for the exit. "Hey, Mr. Boskin, what about me?" Sladek called out from his chair, standing up in panic. "Sorry, Sladek, there is nothing more I can do for you," Boskin said without looking back. "What?" Sladek yelled. "You mean I have to go to jail?" "Probably," Boskin shrugged, said, looking at a newly arrived slip of paper. "Yes, he will be right over. You are quite welcome." "What is the case, sir?" Levitt asked, ready for action. "Construction site over on Amsterdam Avenue," Barney read. "Some kids climbing all over the heavy equipment. You have to chase them off." "That is it?" Levitt asked, clearly disappointed by the lack of glamour. "Afraid so," Barney replied gently. "Would you not send a squad car for that?" Levitt questioned. "I was going to," Barney admitted. "Of course." "Well, perhaps we can take on the little heathens together." "Sir," Levitt said bravely, adjusting his duty belt before marching out the door. "Goodbye, ladies." As the room quieted down, Barney returned to his desk, the heavy burden of command momentarily lightened by the relatively minor nature of the calls. However, the peace was short-lived. The heavy door swung open again, and Dietrich entered, accompanied by a man in a dark green uniform that looked somewhat like a police uniform, but not quite. The man was holding his head high, a look of fierce defiance on his face. Behind him trailed a very disgruntled-looking citizen. "Come on, Sladek, get inside here," Dietrich said, pointing toward the captain's desk. "Hey, look, if you do not respect the man, at least respect the uniform." The man named Sladek shot back, brushing a speck of dust off his lapel. "What in the world is going on here?" "You tell me," Barney said, leaning back his chair and crossing his arms. "Barney, this is our police officer in trouble," Dietrich explained, gesturing to the man in green. "What?" Barney asked, bewildered. "These two men answer to you?" "Yes, I am Captain Miller," Barney said. Officer Ross Sladek, Sanitation Police, the man announced proudly, puffing out his chest. Oh, Barney sighed, the pieces of the puzzle falling into place. I think your boys here made a little mistake. Sladek stated confidently. No, we did not, Dietrich countered calmly. What happened? Barney asked, looking between the two men. Well, when we got to the park, Dietrich began, referencing his notepad. Officer Earl here was prodding a Mr. Anthony Peglia with his nightstick, forcing him to crawl around on the ground and pick up assorted cigarette butts and candy wrappers. That slob threw a candy bar wrapper down on the grass, and I made him get down there with it. Sladek defended himself loudly. You just asked him to pick it up? Barney asked, raising a skeptical eyebrow. I tried that, Sladek insisted. I tried. I identified myself as a sanitation officer, and he laughed at me and just kept walking. That is when Mr. Sladek told him to freeze, and fired 2 warning shots in the air. Warning shots? Barney repeated, his voice rising in disbelief. Well, you do not make a mess on my patrol beat and just walk away, Sladek reasoned, as if discharging a firearm in a public park over litter was standard procedure. Anyway, Dietrich continued. Mr. Peglia signed a formal complaint right on the spot, and then mentioned something about moving to the state of Maine. Good riddance to bad rubbish, Sladek muttered, crossing his arms. Officer Sladek, Barney began, his tone stern and authoritative. Are you aware that you have opened yourself to charges of harassment, coercion, and probably reckless endangerment? Look, you have your laws to enforce, and I have mine, Sladek argued passionately. I mean, we all want clean sidewalks, right? Unclogged drainage areas, trash packed neatly in garbage receptacles, metal cans with lids on tight, so that stinking sewer rats are not swarming all over the city, living off our filth. That is hardly a reason to shoot at somebody for littering, Barney pointed out patiently. Haven't you been listening? Dietrich, get a full statement. What? Sladek looked genuinely shocked. You're not going to book me, are you? Yes, Barney said simply. We are all police officers, Sladek pleaded, his bravado fading. We do not do stuff like that to each other. Oh, yes, we do, Barney assured him. Sit down. Sladek sank into a chair, shaking his head. You know, I spent 7 terrible years hanging off the back of that garbage truck. 7 years getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, in the pouring rain, in the freezing snow, picking up other people's garbage. People who treated me like scum. Who cares? I would go to all the social gatherings. You know, I would listen to all the snide remarks like, what school did you go to? Or look, it is the man from the garbage company, what has 4 wheels and flies. But I never let it bother me, because I knew if I just did my job, just kept the streets and my record clean, that one day I would be promoted to this position. Then we would see who was laughing. Not me. Sladek looked up at Dietrich, his eyes burning with years of suppressed frustration. So what does have 4 wheels and flies? You ask me that again, I will rip your tongue out. I'm going to sit down now. As Sladek was led away to give his statement, Wojo returned to the main floor. Anything shaking? He asked Barney. Yeah, Wojo replied, pulling out his files. I checked Hillier for prior arrests, and he is completely clean. Okay, Barney said. Then I checked out the automobile. Wojo continued. I dug up a stolen vehicle report from 1957, and then I called the owner. She is coming down to the station. Okay, anything shaking with you? Barney asked, noticing Wojo's unusually quiet demeanor. Not really, Wojo mumbled. You are not talking to me either, Barney observed, letting out a frustrated sigh. Ever since you started this thing with Harris, no one is talking to anyone around here. Whoa, Jim, Wojo said softly, trying to diffuse attention. Unless it is duty-related, Barney continued, pacing behind his desk. Look, you guys do not like what is going on around here. Talk to Mr. Harris. I have done everything I can to reconcile with the man, and he just keeps putting me off. Excuse me, Harris said, walking past him toward his desk. Hey, Ron, we were just talking about you, Wojo said awkwardly. It is okay. Harris replied dismissively. I will be out of here in a second. God, when do we get that? Over here, Barney called out. Harris? Yeah. Harris stopped and looked back. My office, Barney demanded. Why, a problem with the crime statistics? Harris asked defensively. Ron, this is your agent on the telephone. Another officer called out from across the room. Oh, Harris said, a flash of panic crossing his face. Tell him I will call him back tonight. He said if you are not at that meeting in 1 hour, you are going to blow the book publishing deal. The officer relayed. Oh, well, that is that, Harris muttered, looking defeated. Go to the meeting, Barney urged him, his anger melting into concern for his friend's career. No, Harris insisted stubbornly. I have got police work to do. Forget it, Barney said. We will cover for you. I will cover for you. Look, will you do me a favor? Go home and write that book. I cannot, Harris finally admitted, his voice barely a whisper. What? Barney asked, stunned. I cannot write any more, Harris confessed, the weight of his secret finally breaking through his polished exterior. This whole thing was a joke. Before Barney could delve deeper into Harris's creative crisis, the heavy doors of the precinct burst open again. It was Dietrich, breathing heavily, his face pale. Captain, I think we had a real police officer in trouble, Dietrich announced urgently. There's a construction site on Amsterdam Avenue. There's a cop dangling from a scaffold about 10 flights up in the air. Oh my God, that is Levitt, Barney realized, his heart skipping a beat. Dietrich, you and me, Barney turned to Wojo. You call emergency medical services. Right. Tell them we are going to need a fire rescue truck. Yeah. Excuse me. Wojo scrambled toward the telephone. Come on. Let's go, Barney yelled, sprinting toward the door with Dietrich close behind. Was Levitt armed with anybody? Another officer asked into the sudden chaos. Oh, it was a simple call, Wojo explained frantically while dialing the telephone. All he had to do was chase a couple of kids off a heavy bulldozer. I did not anticipate anything like this was going to happen. It is all right, someone muttered in the background. I mean, at least we are talking. I will call the hospitals. The next hour was a blur of frantic telephone calls and agonizing waiting. The atmosphere in the precinct grew thick with worry. Police officers are family, and when one of their own is in danger, everything else ceases to matter. Finally, the radio crackled with good news, and shortly after, Barney was really my problem, and I am the one who is really going to have to deal with it. Hey, but look, I am sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings, by dragging in here. Wojo, who had been listening quietly, suddenly stepped forward, his massive frame shifting awkwardly. You should not be sorry, Wojo said, his voice surprisingly tender. I mean, if any of us have got a problem, we got to get out in the open to solve it. Harris looked at Wojo, touched by the unexpected support. I suppose. Yeah. Wojo continued, taking a deep breath, plunging into emotional waters he rarely navigated. I mean, you say that you cannot write. I just found out I am sterile. I am just beginning to deal with that one. The revelation dropped into the room like a stone in a quiet pond. Harris stared at Wojo, utterly paralyzed by the sudden, extreme shift from professional writer's block to deeply personal medical trauma. The point is that we can work out together. Wojo finished, offering a brave, earnest nod. Harris blinked rapidly, entirely unequipped for this level of unvarnished vulnerability. Okay, Harris managed to squeak out, slowly backing away toward his desk. Just not in the same room. He grabbed his coat and briefcase in record time. Excuse me, has anybody seen my car? Me? You? And with that final, chaotic collision of human frailty, heroism, and the enduring absurdity of the 1212th precinct, the evening shift officially began. The typewriters clacked, the phones rang, and the great messy heart of the city kept on beating. The morning sun filtered through the grimy, barred windows of the 12th precinct squad room, casting long, dusty beams across the battered wooden desks. The room hummed with the familiar, chaotic energy of New York City. A symphony of ringing telephones, clattering typewriters, and the low murmur of weary detectives. Sergeant Arthur Harris sat at his desk, his impeccably tailored suit a stark contrast to the peeling green paint of the walls behind him. He held the telephone receiver close to his ear, his voice a hushed, urgent whisper as he tried to placate the person on the other end of the line. "Look, I know we used to have business lunches in the past," Harris said, his brow furrowed in a mixture of annoyance and desperation, "but there's a new policy now. No, it is the same captain, and I cannot use the telephone anymore either. Goodbye, Allen." He placed the receiver down with a heavy sigh, running a hand over his perfectly groomed hair. Across the room, Captain Barney Miller emerged from his office, a stack of folders in his hands and a look of perpetual exhaustion on his face. Barney was a man who carried the weight of the city on his shoulders. Yet he always managed to maintain a core of deep compassion for the broken souls that wandered into his domain. "Harris," Barney called out, his voice steady but laced with a hint of exasperation. Harris looked up, feigning nonchalance. "Barney, I was talking to my agent, and I admit it freely." Barney glanced at the large clock on the wall. "It is only 2 minutes to 9. I charged it to my home telephone," Harris countered smoothly, standing up and handing over a thick manila folder. "And these are the crime statistics you asked for." "Thank you," Barney said, taking the folder. "Sir, anything else?" Harris asked, hoping to make a quick escape. "Yes," Barney replied, his tone shifting to something more paternal and serious. "It is now 2 days since I forced you to miss that meeting, and I think it is about time we sat down man to man." Before Harris could formulate an excuse, a commotion at the heavy wooden doors of the squad room drew their attention. Sergeant Stanley Wojciechowicz, affectionately known to everyone as Wojo, was muscling a disheveled, frantic-looking man into the room. The man, who looked to be in his late 40s, was wildly gesticulating, his eyes wide with indignation. "Whoops, whoops. On duty," Wojo said, trying to steer the man toward a holding area. "Stay inside, Mr. Hilliard. Is this where I get that shirt?" Joseph Hilliard asked, his voice trembling with anxious energy. "You know, the one with the numbers on it?" "No, that is prison," Wojo replied matter-of-factly. "It is later. I was just asking," Hilliard mumbled, looking around the bustling room with a mixture of awe and terror. Barney," Wojo called out, guiding his suspect toward the captain's desk. "Yeah, this is Joseph Hilliard. On my way in this morning, I found him chasing a group of Japanese tourists." Hilliard stepped forward, his hands clasped together as if pleading his case to a higher power. "I was trying to spray them with this kind of windshield deicer. Those people were acting like they never saw a real automobile before." "What automobile?" Barney asked, his curiosity piqued. "My DeSoto," Hilliard proclaimed, his voice softening into a tone of absolute reverence. "They were violating it. I went into Ed's auto supply store for 2 seconds to buy a can of carnauba wax and a case of those little pine tree air fresheners. And the next thing I know, they are hanging all over my car, sitting on the hood, posing for pictures, kicking the white wall tires, fondling the rear fins. Is that any way to treat a 1957 Firefly?" "I am not sure," Barney admitted, trying to suppress a small smile. "Anyway," Wojo interjected, pulling out his notebook when I tried to calm him down. "He took a swipe at me." Barney raised an eyebrow. "Did you try to hit him?" "Well, I did not know that he was a police officer," Hilliard explained defensively. "He looks like a typical chrome smudger." "There you go," Wojo said, looking offended. "No, wait, we are not done. See, the car is not his." "Oh?" Barney asked. "Yeah. The minute I showed him my badge, he blurts out that he stole it," Wojo explained. Hilliard sighed, his shoulders slumping under the weight of a long-held secret. "You would have found out anyway." "Maybe," Wojo conceded. "They are car thieves, huh?" "Oh, no," Hilliard protested vehemently. "It was a crazy impulse. Look, Times were tough for me. I was just out of the military service. I did not have a job. No future. I was depressed about the Sputnik satellite launching. The DeSoto represented everything I ever wanted. Everything I could not have. Exactly when did you steal this car? Barney asked, sensing the unusual nature of this particular crime. October 6, 1957. Hilliard confessed, staring at the floor. That is almost 25 years ago, Barney noted, his voice reflecting genuine surprise. But that car looks as good today as it did the day that I stole it. Hilliard said, a spark of pride returning to his eyes. Yeah, it is true, Wojo confirmed, nodding in agreement. He let me drive it down here to the precinct. It is beautiful. Well, remember to put that in your report, Barney said dryly. Thank you, Wojo said. You want me to check with the district attorney regarding the statute of limitations? He only hit you 10 minutes ago. Barney reminded him. Park him right there. Across the room, the radio dispatcher's voice crackled through the static. Attention! We have a police officer in trouble in Washington Square. Maybe some shots fired. The atmosphere in the room shifted instantly. The easy banter vanished, replaced by the sharp, focused tension of professionals reacting to a crisis. Okay, that is everybody, Barney commanded. Break out some weapons. Put Hilliard in a holding cage. Yeah, in a cage, Wojo echoed, moving swiftly. I just sat down, Hilliard complained, but Wojo was already guiding him behind the heavy iron bars. In a cage. Harris, Barney called out. I just finished my filing, Barney, Harris replied, already moving toward the weapon locker. Fine. All right. Got him. Let us go. All right. Pull the firearms, Barney instructed, his eyes scanning his men to ensure they were ready. I do not want anybody getting hurt. That is right. Hilliard chimed in from his cell, suddenly worried about his prized possession. Whose car are they taking? Mine? Sergeant Dietrich, who had been quietly working at his desk, jogged toward the door. Yeah, try and do something different, he muttered. I know somebody can get hurt. But before they could completely empty the room, a young, eager officer named Levitt approached the captain's desk. Sir, you're crawling. I am afraid we are a little short-handed now. I am available. Look, if you give me a minute, maybe I can find out if there is a squad car in the neighborhood. Barney said, flipping through his dispatch notes. Sir, I will take it, Levitt insisted, his chest puffed out with a desire to prove himself. As a matter of fact, I do have something, Barney self. No, I was never a garbage man, Barney replied plainly. I hate that word, Boskin hissed. Look, what is it you want of me? Turn Sladek over to me. I cannot do that, Barney said firmly, rooted in his principles. Somebody signed a complaint against him. Look, Captain, I do not think you can fully appreciate my situation here, Boskin pleaded, leaning in close. Our little force has had one shakeup as it is. We have some rotten apples that voted for abusing. Their rank and several patrolmen suspended for turning in bogus citations. I was not aware of that, Barney admitted, his eyes narrowing slightly. Oh, well, anyway, yeah, Boskin stuttered, realizing he was talking too much. We put all that behind us. You know, and we have taken steps to solve those problems. And I just hate to think that the city is going to dump on us again just because Sladek got nuts with his gun. Why do you people carry guns anyway? We are cops. No, we are cops. You are garbage men, Barney corrected him, weary of the debate. You keep coming back to that, Boskin sighed, utterly defeated. You keep coming back to that. Across the room, a much gentler conversation was taking place. Excuse me. Yes. Mrs. Shawcross looked up as Joseph Hilliard approached her, wringing his hands nervously. I am Joseph Hilliard. We spoke earlier. I am the guy who stole your DeSoto back in 1957. Mrs. Shawcross did not flinch or scream for an officer. Instead, she offered a warm, empathetic smile. I am Louise Shawcross. How do you do? I must say, Joseph, you have taken very good care of the car. Joseph's chest puffed out with pride, all his anxieties melting away in the face of her validation. Sure, I devoted half my life to it. You must love the DeSoto very much, Louise observed softly. Are you kidding? Joseph laughed, a light returning to his eyes. We have not been apart for one day all these years. Sure, you know, I used to rush right home every day after work just to see that she was okay. And on the weekends, I used to pamper her. I used to wash her with warm, sudsy water. And then I would take a soft chamois and I would rub her until she was gleaming. Louise listened intently, completely captivated by his earnest passion. You know, if this did not happen, I was going to surprise her next month with a set of classic plates. You know, for our 25th anniversary, Joseph confessed, a hint of sadness creeping into his voice. And now I have ruined everything. Louise reached out, gently placing a hand on his arm. It is okay. It is still your car. Of course. You are welcome to come and visit us from time to time. Joseph's eyes widened in disbelief. Really? I like bubble baths, too, Louise said, a playful twinkle in her eye. At the captain's desk, Wojo approached with a stack of files. Doctor, I have talked with Mr. Hilliard, and I think he deserves a second chance. Barney looked up. Who are you? Barney. This is Louise Shawcross. Wojo introduced him. She owns a DeSoto, and the statute of limitations was up 18 years ago. I checked with the district attorney's office of fun. What about the assault charge? Barney asked, raising an eyebrow. Tantamous. Wojo grinned proudly, butchering the legal term completely. Okay, here you get now. Oh, thank you. Louise beamed. You are welcome. Wojo nodded. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Joseph, Louise called out softly, I will get your valuables. This is my phone number. She slipped a piece of paper into his hand. Thanks a lot, Joseph said, staring at the numbers as if they were a winning lottery ticket. Now, whenever you get the urge to see the car or me, just give us a ring. Louise smiled brightly. We will always be there. I am looking forward to it, Joseph whispered, his heart full of newfound hope and coral pink dreams. Chapter 6. Confessions and the Brotherhood of the Badge. The afternoon sun began its slow descent, casting golden hues across the chaotic precinct. The day had been an emotional roller coaster of grand thefts, garbage rebellions, and death-defying acrobatics, yet the underlying current of camaraderie remained steadfast. Boskin, having utterly failed to save his rogue officer, turned toward the door. Okay, Mr. Boskin, Barney called out, not unkindly. Thanks for all the help, Captain. Hey, for one of the boys. Hey, Mr. Boskin, what about me? Sladek yelled from his cell, pressing his face against the iron bars. Boskin paused, refusing to turn around. Sorry, Sladek. There's nothing more I can do for you. What? You mean I gotta go to jail? Sladek cried out, the reality of his actions finally crushing his bravado. Probably, but hey, best of luck, Boskin muttered, pulling open the heavy wooden doors. Hey, wait a minute, Boskin, where you going? Sladek screamed, rattling the cage. Nobody turns their back on me. But the doors swung shut. Boskin had simply walked away, leaving Sladek to ponder the true cost of an unblemished sidewalk. On the other side of the room, Captain Barney Miller stepped out of his office, carrying a small, official-looking document. He walked over to where Officer Levitt was sitting, nursing a wrapped wrist and a slightly stiff neck. Mail call, Barney announced warmly. Hey, Levitt, I am glad you are all right. Levitt tried to stand at attention, but winced, settling for sitting up very straight. My God, no biggie, sir. Just a little scaffold lash. Only temporary. That is something, anyway. Barney smiled. Anyway, I suppose that Sergeant Harris filled you in on the details. Yes, yes. Levitt nodded eagerly. We are very proud of you, Levitt, Barney said, his voice ringing with genuine paternal pride. Thank you, sir. Levitt beamed. Well, now, if there is nothing else, I have a report to do. No way, Carl, Dietrich interjected, stepping out from behind a filing cabinet. He has got a fractured wrist, a very decent neck sprain. Doctor said he should be off his feet for the next 2 weeks. Barney nodded in agreement. Okay, take him home, Dietrich. But, sir, Levitt protested mildly, not wanting to relinquish the spotlight so soon. Levitt, go home, Barney insisted gently. Rest, relax. I will be in good shape for the ceremony. Do not you? I am going to put you up for a Medal of Valor. The entire precinct went silent for a fraction of a second before erupting into cheers. Hey, all right. Wojo clapped. Levitt looked absolutely dumbfounded. Sir, you must be toying with me. No, Levitt. Barney reassured him. I hardly deserve it, Levitt stammered, humble for the first time in his career. Perhaps Sergeant Harris is simply over-embellished. No, Verne Ismail. I still do not think it is necessary, Levitt mumbled, staring at the floor. Levitt, you saved the kid's life, Barney said firmly, brooking no argument. Take the medal. Well, I insist on ramming it down my throat, sir, Levitt joked, a massive grin spreading across his face. Dietrich, get him out of here, Barney chuckled. Let's go, Carl, Dietrich said, wrapping an arm around the newly minted hero. Big mouth. Oh, here. Oh, thank you. Happy motoring. As the cheering died down and the precinct began to clear out for the evening shift, Wojo walked up to Barney. Barney, it is almost checkout time, Wojo said quietly. So, I think I will just run Mr. Earl down to the tombs and go on home from there, unless you would rather stay and talk. Before Barney could answer, Sergeant Harris stood up from his desk. The dapper detective looked exhausted, the weight of the day and weeks of unspoken pressure finally breaking through his polished exterior. Look, Harris began, his voice surprisingly vulnerable. What it really comes down to is that I have not been able to write a thing since Blood on the Badge. I tried. I really have. You see, I stare at my typewriter and nothing happens. Barney leaned against the desk, crossing his arms and listening intently. He had suspected as much, but hearing Harris admit it was a crucial step. What about all those phone calls from the agent? Barney asked gently. All those meetings? No, you never let me go, Harris admitted, looking directly at his captain. And I really appreciated it. Barney was slightly taken aback by the gratitude. Well, you could tell a person. Sorry, Harris offered a sheepish smile. Anyway, look, it is gasped, realizing the severity of the situation for the first time. You are not going to book me, are you? Yes, Barney said simply. We are all cops, Sladek pleaded, his rigid posture crumbling into desperation. We do not do stuff like that to each other. Oh, yes, we do, Barney replied. Sit down. Sladek dropped into a chair, a look of profound betrayal washing over him. You know, I spent 7 stinking years hanging off the back of that truck. 7 years getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, in the rain, in the snow, picking up other people's garbage. People who treated me like scum. Who cares? I would go to all the parties. You know, I would listen to all the snide remarks like, what school you go to, P.U.? Or, look, it is the man from Glad, what has 4 wheels and flies. Get in there. But I never let it bother me, because I knew if I just did my job, just kept the streets and my nose clean, that one day I would be promoted to this. Then we would see who is left. He looked up at Barney, tears of frustration shining in his eyes. Not me. So what does have 4 wheels and flies? You ask me that again, I will rip your tongue out. I am going to sit down now, Dietrich murmured, gently guiding Sladek into the holding cell. Chapter 4, A Hero in the Heights and the Comedy of Errors. While Sladek was being processed, the rhythm of the precinct attempted to return to normal. Wojo walked over to Barney's desk, looking over his notes. Anything shaking? Barney asked, grateful for a distraction. Yeah, Wojo replied. I checked Hillier for priors, and he is clean. Okay, Then I checked out the car. I dug up a stolen vehicle report from 1957, and then I called the owner. She is coming down. Okay, Barney nodded. Anything shaking with you? Not really. Wojo deflected, a sudden wave of awkwardness washing over him. He cast a sideways glance at Harris, who was aggressively typing at his desk. You are not talking to me either. Ever since you started this thing with Harris, no one is talking to anyone around here, unless it is duty-related. Barney sighed. Look, you guys do not like what is going on around here? Talk to Mr. Harris. I have done everything I can to reconcile with the man, and he just keeps putting me off. Before Wojo could delve deeper into the emotional dynamics of the squad, the phone rang. Barney answered it, his expression shifting rapidly from annoyance to genuine alarm. Captain, I think we have a real cop in trouble, Barney announced, slamming the phone down. There's a construction site on Amsterdam. There's a cop dangling from a scaffold about 10. Flight's up. The squad room erupted into motion. Oh my God, that is Levitt, someone shouted. Dietrich, you and me? Barney ordered, grabbing his coat. Barney, you call emergency services. Right. Tell them we are going to need a fire truck. As they rushed toward the door, Wojo shook his head in disbelief. Wasn't Levitt armed with anybody? It was a simple call. All he had to do was chase a couple of kids. Off a bulldozer. I did not anticipate anything like this was going to happen. It is all right, Barney said, pausing for a brief second to address a concerned detective. I mean, at least we are talking. I will call the hospitals. An hour passed in an agonizing blur of police radios and tense waiting. Finally, the heavy doors opened, and Officer Levitt walked in, supported by Dietrich. Levitt looked a bit dusty and his uniform was torn, but he was grinning from ear to ear. Levitt is fine, Dietrich announced to the anxious room. He is just fine. I went over to Bellevue with him. But everything is going to be all right. What the hell happened? Barney demanded, rushing over. Dietrich, ever the stoic narrator, delivered the report. Well, according to witnesses, there were assorted 8- and 9-year-olds up on the 10th floor, taking turns jumping up and down on one of those suspended painter scaffolds, playing chicken. Did you ever do that? Wojo whispered to Harris, who emphatically shook his head. Well, when it got to be the fat kid's turn. One of the cables snapped and left one Howie Drobish swaying in the breeze and clinging onto the safety rail for dear life. Dietrich continued. Somehow, Levitt managed to get up there and swing out onto the scaffold. Your kid? Barney asked, astonished. No, Dietrich Klerifa. He just yanked the kid up by the seat of his pants, threw him back into the building, and then that is when he lost his grip and fell. The room gasped in unison. Fell. Barney echoed, horrified. Made a perfect 3-point landing on another scaffold 1 floor below. Dietrich said, a rare, genuine smile crossing his face. Oh, thank God. Barney breathed out, leaning against the desk. Yeah, so by the time I got there, the paramedics had already reeled him in, and they did not seem to think that anything was broken, Dietrich concluded. When they brought him out, Levitt tipped his hat to the crowd and got himself a great big standing ovation. Levitt beamed, basking in the glory of the moment. I got statements from everybody, so I'm going to write this up. Thank you. You need any help? Nah, I can handle it, Dietrich assured him. But thanks for the thought. Chapter 5, Coral Pink and Second Chances. Amidst the celebratory chaos of Levitt's safe return, a petite, elegantly dressed woman wandered into the squad room. She looked around with a mixture of curiosity and polite confusion, tightly clutching a small leather handbag. Can I help you? Wojo asked, stepping forward with his usual gruff charm. I am not sure, the woman replied, offering a timid smile. I think I took the wrong stairs. I am looking for the policeman who found my DeSoto. Wojo's face lit up with recognition. Are you Mrs. Shawcross? Yes, she nodded. Yeah, I am Sergeant Wojciechowicz, he said, extending a large hand. Yeah, I talked to you this morning. Oh, I appreciate your finding me after all these years, she said warmly, shaking his hand. Sure, Wojo smiled. Did you see your car downstairs? Her eyes widened with absolute delight. Oh, well, how could I miss it? I mean, it is so big and pink. It is not pink, a voice corrected from across the room. Joseph Hilliard stood up from his chair, walking slowly toward the woman. He looked at her with a profound, almost spiritual intensity. It is coral. It was a very popular shade that year. Mrs. Shawcross looked at the man, intrigued. Perhaps that is why I bought it. Yeah, why not you have a seat here? Wojo suggested, sensing a bizarre